usually want my hearings to start on time, so those who want to have their own meetings can leave the room. I usually want my hearings to start on time. Yes, I don't want to start on in a sour note, except that a meeting room is for studying and for listening, not for mini meetings. I would appreciate it if those present here today, I know it's a big meeting of various departments, could please exercise some discipline and silence. Thank you. And so just for the record, we're on Facebook Live. All your comments are being transmitted live. And I would like to thank and welcome Secretary Roy Simatu, who came very early this morning, way ahead of a 9 o'clock committee meeting. Also, as you noticed, there are no bottled waters being served. I expect that all our panel resource persons and guests will bring their own water jugs like myself. And if you don't have to die of starvation or thirst. We have dispensers. I do not see dispensers. Do we have dispensers? Yes, there are dispensers on one side. I hope you don't have to use plastic cups. If you do, you can recycle it. There are glasses which are hopefully clean and sanitized, which you can use. But I would appreciate in the next hearing to please bring your own water jugs, which are for free, refillable there. Also, you noticed that our dessert is saging na saba. And I hope the DNR can make it a practice to serve water the way we do, because that is part of RA 9003. Because imagine if we had to drink 8 to 10 glasses of water a day, or actually 12, and that would be 12 water bottles a day for 100 million Filipinos, or the billions of people on this planet. Where do we dispose them? Which brings me to the issue of the circular economy and the blue economy, which I hope DNR is ready to answer today, because I will focus on that, on many other matters today. We should make it clear that we should walk our talk. The time for policy is not over, but will be completely ineffective. Policy will be completely ineffective if we, meaning in the DNR, and we in the Senate keep on enacting laws if we don't fund it, if we don't understand it, if people are not aware of it, and if the DNR does not micromanage the implementation of the laws. So all I'm saying is that this could be a long hearing, not because pinapahirapan ko kasi yun. In fact, to help Secretary Simatu, so that each and every bureau in the DNR, each and every regional director, or PENRO, or even CENRO, and USEC and ASEC will know his or her role in the implementation of all our environmental laws. So, I hope you're ready with all the answers in the implementation of the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, the Ecological Solid Waste Management Law, the Environmental Education Awareness Act, which you should be doing with the DepEd, with the issues of National Greening Program, with the circular economy, with the blue economy, and even before you make your presentation, may I just hear from EMB Region 6 on the tourism establishments, just get the answer ready, who are throwing their waste into the seas of Boracay. But before that, so just prepare your answer, please. We would like to welcome Secretary Simatu. No need for me to apologize. He knows me by now. Hindi po ako galit. Ganun lang ako. Sanay na sila, mga taga-DNR din, sanay na rin sa akin. So, yun lang po ang aking opening statement. Nagpapasalamat po ako ang aking kapwa Ilocano at Antiqueño. Sa hindi mga nakakaalam, yan ang aming bonding ni Sec Simatu. His wife is from Antique, and he is Ilocano. My mother is from Antique, and my nanay is purong Ilocana. Kaya pareho kaming Antiqueñong Ilocano. Kaya, hindi naman ibig sabihin mabilis ang budget nyo. Diba? Oo. Sige. So, salamat sa inyong lahat. May I ask the ComSec to read into the record the presence of everyone here today. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, The Senate Committee on Finance would like to recognize its distinguished guests, namely Secretary Roy Simatu, Attorney Ernesto Adobo, Attorney Jonas Leones, Mr. Noel Filonco, Attorney Juan Miguel Cuna, Director Wilfredo Moncano, Administrator Peter Tiangco, General Manager Jaime Medina, Director Metodi Turbella, Executive Director Jose Antonio Goita, Deputy Executive Director Gregorio Garcia, Deputy Executive Director Helen Arlene Kililan, Secretary Emmanuel de Guzman, Attorney Romel Antonio Cuenca, Executive Director Sibilio David. Thank you.
Thank you. We start with the budget, please, of the DNR, and then the Pasig River Commission and the Climate Change Commission can come later. Just in case the budget of DNR extends beyond 12, we will have to have a second hearing, because I have a 1 o'clock hearing. I have another budget hearing. What agency? COA. I have a COA hearing, OMB, at 1 o'clock. Yeah, thank you. May I request that in your presentation, we don't need to see the framework, etc. Can we just have it on the slide, please? Yes. Pakipatay po ng ilaw doon. Yeah. So can you just go through the pages so that to abbreviate it, Secretary, you know, we don't focus on, unless you want, unless it's quick, yung mission, vision, alam na natin yun, di ba? Oo. Unless may bago na dapat natin malaman into the record. Yes. Okay. Mandate, mission, vision. Oh, we recognize the presence of Senator Cynthia Villar. Thank you for joining us. Chair of the Standing Committee on Environment. Okay. Wag na yung mandate, mission, vision. Alam na natin yan, no? Sige. You can just kindly go on the slides of the mandate, mission, vision. Then we can go to the ENR development framework. Who will present, please? Yes, Secretary, please proceed. Thank you.
With your permission, I would like to make some opening statement. Madam Chairperson, Senator Legarda, Senator Villar, ma'am. Good morning. We are pleased to present to you the budget proposal of DNR for fiscal year 2018. Having been in office for just a little over 3 months, I will have to beg your indulgence if in the course of our presentation, I have to refer some of our concerns and issues to members of our staff who have been intimately involved in the presentation of our fiscal year 1918 budget. Over the years, they have been in the forefront of the planning and implementation of the various programs and projects mandated by law and funded by Congress. Thus, if there are concerns about the usage of our funds and the continuity and sustainability of our various projects, they will be in a better position to credibly respond to such concerns. As in previous years, the Department fiscal year 2018 budget recognizes our mandate for the proper and responsible stewardship of our natural resources and the protection and enhancement of our environment and ecological system. We are committed to implement our resource development and environmental laws, as well as our commitments under a number of treaties and international obligations. However, we will now have to work with a very tight budget, as our proposed budget is being increased by 1.77% with the current 2017 appropriations. Let me begin, Your Honors, by providing you in broad strokes the Department's marching orders under the Duterte administration. Sustainable stewardship of our resources for development and responsive environmental protection will be foremost in our operations. In this regard, we will endeavor to inform, educate, and mobilize the broad masses of our people to be active participants in this national endeavor. President Duterte, myself, or even the entire government bureaucracy cannot do the job alone. Ours is a national effort, a united effort. Tayo po ang kalikasan. Tayo po ang nangangalagas ng ating likas na yaman at magtataguyod nito para sa ating mga mamamayan at sa susunod na henerasyon. And kalikasan ay dapat isapuso natin lahat. In this regard, Your Honors, and the interest of good order, we have prepared a monograph of the various initiatives meant to implement President Duterte's natural resources development and environmental policies. We consider these our marching orders. We have taken liberty of distributing the same together with other materials to members of the committee to facilitate our deliberations on our proposed 2018 budget. At this point, Madam Chairperson, Your Honors, please allow me to call on our Undersecretary for Policy, Planning and International Affairs, Attorney Jonas Leones, to present the details of our budget proposal for fiscal year 2018. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Secretary. Before Attorney Leones, Yusek Leones, proceeds, may I request all of those staff bureau heads and line bureau heads and attached agencies of DNR to please occupy the first row so that Climate Change Commission and Pasig River can stay at the back, because I'm not certain we can do your budget today. But you have to be here because there should be convergence among these agencies. So may we request the others? There's no space for the others. For DNR. Sino po ang EMB Director? Upo po. Yes. Okay. No, MGB yan. Yes. Director, yeah. Dito po lahat. EMB, MGB, NAMRIA, NWRB, Palawan Council. Sino po? Yeah, dito po kayo. LLDA, NRDC, PRA, the favorite agency of Senator Villar. Attached agency. Forest Management, Land Management, BMB, ERDB. Yes. And those, yeah, USEC them. Those are in charge of foreign assisted projects. The implementers of the Clean Water Act, the Clean Air Act, the Ecological Solid Waste Management Law, and the focal person for the cluster on climate change adaptation and mitigation. But please don't leave, Pasig River and climate change, please don't leave and listen to everything, because when your hearings come, I will ask you questions pertaining to the DNR budget, because you should be working together. Because the budgets of these two agencies may be small, but if you work together with the DNR, then you could be effective. And then the Manila Bay office head should also be here. And then the finance. Who is the head of finance of DNR, please? Who is implementing the National Greening Program? Who is in charge of all our base and implementation of the focal person for the Clean Water Act? Yes. Okay. Thank you. The National Solid Waste Commission.
Here's a summary.
Thank you.
What do you call it? Is it right to ask? I want to know the practical impact of the 45 billion. Pwede ba yun? Hindi. per capita per person? Per population, pwede ba yan? Hindi. O per family, in fact. Paano ganun? We spend 45. Kasi it's a poverty alleviation program. It's not a reforestation. Ano ang per capita impact? Paano yun? Where's the population?
Thank you. Please proceed, Attorney Leones.
Our distinguished senators, to achieve our targets for next year, our proposed total budget is 27.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Before you proceed, I posed a question. I'm sorry. I posed a question before we started, and I just have that answer before you proceed with the budget. I posed a question on the news report that Boracay establishments are dumping dirty water into the sea. That is under the EMB. May I hear from Director Torbelia? Yes. Who are these establishments? It is not named in the report. What kind of waste are they throwing into the sea? They don't have wastewater treatment facilities and sewerage facilities. And what is the right of the DNR? What can we do to make sure that they comply? Because if it happens in Boracay, I'm certain it's happening in Puerto Galera. I am certain it is happening everywhere. The wanton disregard of our marine environment and the environment in general. So, may we hear from Director Metodio Torbelia, ENB, please. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. Good morning, Your Honor. Just assume my responsibility as a Bureau Director last Friday, so if I may, would like to request the Director Kangkang, the Assistant Bureau Director, to answer the question.
Sino po na nakakaalam? Opo. Para lang mabigyan kapi ng impormasyon. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Actually, the issue of Boracay, Secretary Simato went there during the problem with the solid waste management, the MRF in Boracay, the garbage problem. So during that time, we contacted, together with the team of the DNR and the regional office of Region 6, EMB and DNR, contacted a meeting with the local government units, and we were able to address the problem with the uncollected trash that was generated from there, and then we also were able to discuss the issue on the connection to the sewerage with the service provider in Boracay. As of now, they were a series of meetings conducted, and they, as far as I know, they were tasked to determine which connections, because of the problem of the illegal connection in the sewerage. So with regards to the water quality sampling, EMB is continuously conducting monitoring, and then our team from the water quality management section also went there to see and coordinate closely with the service provider in the area.
May we? Yes,
Can I
kayo
request
po ang
the next
EMB
one?
Region 6.
Iloilo, Region 6.
Kayo po ang Regional Director, EMB Region 6.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. You are quoted here in the news article.
Yes.
And can you just brief us briefly, and who are these 12 establishments and more? Put them into the record, please, if you know. And what action can DNR take to make sure that dirty, that waste is not dumped into the sea? And this is an example, not just for Boracay, but all over the country. Thank you. Ano pong pangalan nila?
Okay, ma'am. Before I start, ma'am, good morning to everyone, especially to you, to Secretary, to Senator Villar and you, ma'am, and of course, all the members of this panel. I'm Engineer Ariel Gloria, barely 5 months as Regional Director of the Environmental Management Bureau. But nonetheless, I am very proud to say through the leadership of Secretary Simato, we were able to dispose the garbage in Boracay that has piled for about 3 years in just a matter of 23 days. Next, we were also able to plug down all the illegal connections. There were 12 illegal connections from 12 establishments identified in coordination with the local government units as a record. Because the intended storm drain canal, which should have been intended for rain and other, not intended for sewer, has been used illegally to dump the wastewater and some of the pasaway establishments in Boracay. To name such, may I name the Kukumangas Bar, number 2 is the Antox Restaurant, 3rd, Showtime Hotel, 4th, Lugar Bonito, number 5, MDMC Medical Clinic, 6, Sol Y Sombra Hotel, 7, Ministap, 8, Station 1 Boracay Korean Restaurant, 9, Boracay Island Adventure, 10th, Jack Store, number 11 is Casa Asia, and number 12 is Hernan Staff House. As a matter of record, we closely coordinated with the local government units concerned and we plugged this particular drainage in terms of cementing this particular drainage outfall going to the storm drain canal. And of course, through the efforts of the as ordered by Secretary Simato, we were able to form a task force. That's the Boracay Challenge. We augment the number of people for the sweep or the basura patrollers, as well as the regular monitoring of these particular wastewater treatment facilities located in Boracay. Another thing is that for the information of the Honorable Senator, we have a total of 617 establishments in Boracay and 23 stations, 4 intended for ambient monitoring required for the quality of our coastal shores. The particular gates for us to determine as to whether the fecal coliform count is within compliance or not. So these are some of the activities that we are doing in Boracay.
Thank you. So the 12 establishments that you mentioned were in violation of the Clean Water Act
Yes,
and of
ma'am.
the Ecological Solid Waste Management Law.
Yes, ma'am.
Pinasara ba nyo sila o sila na po ay compliant ngayon o gumagawa po ng paraan para sila po ay magkaroon ng wastewater treatment at ng sewerage facilities na akma po sa ating mga batas?
Actually, we issued the corresponding notice of violation, and of course they are very aware of the standard procedures in terms of, let's say, due process of law. And in close coordination with the local government units, they have their own in-house, let's say, equipment to address the problem before.
Just before we proceed with your budget, you mentioned that the garbage in Boracay that has been there for 3 years, you were able to dispose of in 23 days. May I know, Secretary, Director, how are you able to do that? What magic did you do to be able to, and where did you throw it? I hope you didn't throw it into the sea.
Your Honor, if I may, we have the sanitary landfill located across the island. That's the main island of Malay. That's in Barangay Kabulihan. We have the sanitary landfill, and only residuals right now is being dumped at in this particular area, whereas the residuals as well as recyclables are of course maintained in the respective materials recovery facility.
You mean in the past 3 years, nakatambak po sa isla ang halo-halong waste. Sinegregate po nyo yung 3 taong basura at yung mga latak na residual lamang ang tinapon sa engineered sanitary landfill sa Malay Town, mainland, while all the others, meaning recyclable bote, lata, plastic, were recycled and stayed in the MRF in Boracay Island. Is that my understanding?
Good morning, Senator.
Lahat yun.
I went there personally to
3 years, ma'am.
Malay
Even 5 years pa yan.
to talk to the mayor, but unfortunately, umalis po. And medyo, I gave instructions that in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you have to dispose all the garbage.
Even 5 years.
So I directed the regional director there, Director James Sampol, not to do the mission for DNR, and may I request him to narrate what we did in the past 23 days, Your Honor. Director.
Because if that's true, it's amazing. And I want to know if you observed the process of RA 9003. So someone must have been negligent for the past 3 years that the garbage piled up. And you solved the 3-year-old problem in 23 days.
Yes, ma'am. I'm very proud of our personnel, especially in Aklan.
So, ibig sabihin po, sorry, kung 3 taon niya ng bundok ng basura, meron siyang food waste. Hiniwalay po nyo yung food waste doon, mabaho na yun, bulok na yun, at ginawang compost. Tapos yung bote lata plastic sa MRF ay pinaghiwalay nyo at recycle. At yung latak lang ang dinala nyo sa mainland at tinagay sa landfill. Yung 3 taon na basura ay hiniwalay nyo. Gusto ko lang po maintindihan kung kaya nyong gawin yun.
May I ask,
If it's realistic. Maybe hear from the regional director who has first-hand knowledge of what you did. It's miraculous, to say the least. Magical and miraculous, but admirable if true.
I used the full force of the DNR, including our lawyer, who was with me.
Is it the general or the lawyer that found the solution?
Both of us.
Both, okay. Can we hear first from the regional direct brief lang because we're going to hear budget, and then we hear from USEC IPAT. So ano po ang
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, it is the concerted efforts of all the local government units concerned, not only of the DNR, but as well as the provincial government headed by Governor Miraflores, as well as Mayor Kawaling, who were also instrumental in terms of addressing this problem. So they support us with all the logistics, all the dump trucks, all the personnel needed to get rid of this basura.
I'll clarify. Ang tinapon lang po nyo sa landfill ay yung latak or residual waste. But all the 3 years that are recyclable, you were able to separate it from the 3 years waste and put it in the MRF in Boracay. Is my understanding correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I will do my own occlurency.
No. Can I ask
Yes.
a question?
Yes. Senator Villar, then we hear from USEC Luna.
We have done recycling of waste in our city, and I doubt it if they can do it in 23 days. Yung sinasabi nyo na residual lang, dadalhin nyo sa landfill, tapos i-recycle nyo yung iba. I doubt it. I have to see it to believe it. I don't think it's true.
May we hear from USEC Luna, please?
Yes, ma'am. They were segregating already. The problem, I think, in Boracay was their trucks and their backhoes did not work anymore. Nasira na po yung equipment nila. They had a bottle crusher, nasira na rin yung equipment. So the waste when we were there were segregated, my e-waste. Most of it was already bottles. So they were able to take the residuals out. I'm not quite sure what they did with the bottles yet. It may still be there, but they're buying a bottle crusher. But we're also helping them find other ways to use.
Why do you crush the bottles?
Ma'am, they used to have a bottle crusher and it broke down, and we are trying
Why
to...
are you crushing the bottle? What is the use for crush bottle?
Kasi po yung volume yata, hindi mas mahal pang itanggal sa isla kaysa sa
i-crush na lang doon. If you take the volume of bottles, there's so much because they drink a lot. So if you take out the bottles in volume out,
But how do you dispose of the crushed bottle
I think-
afterwards?
Ma'am, I'm not sure what they did there, but I think we're going to explore with Boracay Foundation and the local government a return policy or a bottle tax. We've already started talking.
First, sayang yung bote. Bakit kailangan i-crush? You don't need to buy a bottle crusher. Second, you can recycle, sell the bottle in the mainland, not just in Malay, but in all municipalities, and then recycle these bottles. And I don't think na sobra-sobra ang bote hindi kayang dalhin sa mainland pag 3 taon. Pero kung linggo-linggo ay dinadala sa mainland at binebenta, I don't think we need to crush it. That's sayang naman yun. But anyway, I understand it now that it was not an open dump for 3 years. It was segregated already, and all you did was to transfer the residual waste to the landfill, and the segregated waste are there in the MRF. So I would assume that all the food waste were segregated for 3 years, and it was in a compost pit, and they do their own compost. Correct? Yes. Okay, understood.
May I request the regional director then, Madam Senator?
Yes, Director Jin, please.
Magandang umaga po, Madam Chair. Upon the direction of the Secretary, we immediately fielded people, or men from the field. In fact, all of these undersecretaries were there. Then we had a meeting with the local government unit. Tapos, nagkuhan po kami. I fielded all men in Region 6 just to assist the EMB to do their job. Kasi kulang sila ng tao. So, nag-field kami ng regional public affairs officers namin to assist in nag-IEC po kami doon, isa-isang bahay, pinuntahan po namin para waste segregation starts from source, from the household.
Ilang barangay po ang Boracay?
3 po.
3 lang?
Yes, 3 po.
Napakadali. 3 barangay lang. Ang gawin po nating modelo ng ESWM ang Boracay. Sabi po ninyo, ginagawa na. So, simple po. I-monitor lang po natin at turuan ng tamang paghihiwalay ng basura. Alam na natin, ang food waste, kailangan dyan may communal compost pit para meron silang sarili nilang organic compost. Bote lata plastic should go to the MRF. The bottles, I believe, need not be crushed, so there's no need to buy a bottle crusher. That can be recycled within the island or brought to the mainland and sold in the whole island of Panay. I'm sure there will be buyers for the recycled bottles and plastic and cans. What's remaining? Just the residual, which will go to the landfill in Malay Aklan. So I hope, based on the report, that's good, but there's still non-compliant establishments. Please exercise utmost vigilance, which I'm sure Secretary Simato is doing. Could I request Secretary Simato to make Boracay a model green island that exercises the elements of a blue economy, meaning simply respecting and protecting the water around it, and to make Boracay a model, and to do what you did in Boracay, assuming what you did in the implementation of ESWM RA 9003 and the Clean Water Act are accurate and correct, to do it also in Puerto Galera and in other areas which are heavily populated, which are tourist havens, and which are bringing in money to our economy. So, thank you for that clarification. Listo, yung mga tao nyo. Alam nila ang ginagawa nila, marunong sumagot. Okay.
May I add one thing that we did, Your Honor. Before, the DNR office in Boracay was abolished before. And the first thing I did was to restore it, Your Honor. And that was one of the reasons why environment or effort has deteriorated because of that unfilling of our office, the NR office in Boracay. So I immediately restored it and ordered the Aklan office to restore, to bring back the personnel there. And that helped a lot, Your Honor.
Thank you. Tatlong barangay po lang yan. May I also ask what you did in Boracay? Again, assuming the full implementation of both laws were done. Please do the same thing and micromanage the Pasig River area, the Laguna Lake area, and Manila Bay. I know it's a Herculean task. Attorney Ipat knows what I mean. But if one barangay can do it, why can't the 42,000 other barangays in the country do it? If Barangay Potrero in Malabon can do it, if Barangay Nyogan in Tagaytay City can do it, if Barangay Sikat in Alfonso can do it, if Las Piñas City can do it, if many barangays which strictly implement ESWM can do it, if Barangay Holy Spirit in Quezon City can do it, if Barangay Fort in Taguig can do it, if San Fernando City can do it, no barangay, no city, no LGU can give a reason that they cannot implement it. Pag nagawa ng isa, bakit hindi kaya ng iba? Maliban kung meron silang dahilan na ayaw nilang ipatupad yung batas. Kumikita ba sa pag-haul ng basura? May katiwalayan ba doon? Makikita natin na maaring makatipid ang local government. May balita ng isang araw, I think it was online, I think it was Rappler. Ang Makati City nakatipid ng higit sa 100 milyon sa kanilang hauling sa pagpapatupad ng RA 9003. I'm not certain if my numbers are correct, but there was a marked, COA observed it, not in a negative way, in a positive way. There was a marked improvement in terms of tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions saved per annum because of the implementation of RA 9003. Dahil, syempre, konti na lang ang garbage truck, konti na lang ang tao, konti na lang ang hauling dahil strictly nag-i-implement. And so, it can be done. Let's not even think of always buying the millions of dollars worth of incinerators or waste-to-energy facilities which Europe is dumping in Asia because they're against it in Europe. That goes into the, some, I'm not saying all, some violate the Clean Air Act and ESWM, but I will not go into the details of that. The scientists are best to explain that. Now we proceed with your budget, please.
Can I make a manifest?
Yes, Senator Villar.
Yeah, I just want to remind them that ang visitors arrival sa Boracay is 2.2 million a year. Ang ating visitors arrival sa Pilipinas is 6 million. So 1/3 of our tourists are going to Boracay. So it's very important that we give our fullest attention to Boracay, that we are able to manage its environmental projects. Kasi ang laki-laki ng contribution niyan sa ating tourism, yung Boracay. 1/3 of our tourists are going to, international tourists are going to Boracay. So, and at the same time, yung sinabi nyo na ni Senator Ligarda na savings sa recycling. Alam nyo, 4 lang ng klase ng basura. 50% is biodegradable, 15% is plastic, 15% is paper, and then 20% ang residual. So, talagang dapat itapon lang yung residual. Kasi ang paper, nare-recycle yan. Meron tayong paper factory na nire-recycle nila yung waste paper into paper again. And then, yung plastic, nare-recycle yan. And then, yung biodegradable, nagagawa yung organic fertilizer. So, ibig sabihin talaga, ang residual lang is 20%. Yun lang dapat ang tinatapon sa landfill. So, yung sinasabi ni Senator Laura na nakakasave ang Makati, kami, sa Las Piñas, we save 70%. Like, for example, if 400 million yung ibang bayan sa pagtapon ng basura, kami 100. Ganun kalaki ang savings if you recycle. So this is really a good model na nakakasave yung mga taos pag hindi nila dire-recycle nila ang basura. Mas murang mag-recycle kesa itapon ng basura sa landfill. Kasi sa landfill, 10,000 per truck. Kasi kalayo-layo ng landfill, ang traffic sa Metro Manila. So, ang halaga ng truck, depende sa layo at tagal ng truck pumunta sa landfill. Dito sa Metro Manila, ang isang truck can do only one trip because of the traffic. Kaya ang mahal-mahal talaga magtapon ng basura. Kaya yung sinasabi ni Senator Lauren na nakasave ang Makati, you can save up to 70% of what you spend before if you recycle. Ang problema, Senator Lauren, dapat to be able to recycle, you have to give the local government the machines to do it mechanically, mechanized. Naglagay tayo last year sa inyo, sa EMB, ng pera para mamigay kayo ng composter, vermicomposting, plastic factory sa lahat ng LGUs along Manila Bay, 168 of them, para mag-recycle, para hindi itapon sa Manila Bay ang basura, following the mandamus of the Supreme Court na itapon na, i-recycle ang basura. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa nare-release yung mga machine na yon sa mga LGU. So, that was a year ago. Ngayon, wala pa. Kaya ngayon, Senator Lauren, tinanggal ngayon yung para this year to give out those machines kasi siguro sabi ng DBM, hindi nyo nga nagasta last year, bakit ko kayo bibigyan uli this year? Tinanggal lahat yun kasi ang pangako nila sa akin, last year, they will give to 168 LGUs around Manila Bay. Ngayon, hindi pa nabibigay hanggang ngayon. Siguro nung ginawa ang budget, sabi ni Secretary Jokno, hindi nyo naman na-spend, bakit ko kayo bibigyan ngayon? Kaya tinanggal ngayon sa budget yung pamimigay. Kasi ang pangako nila sa akin, mamimigay sila all over the Philippines. Para yung first year sa Laguna Bay, around Manila Bay, this year, all over the Philippines. Nawala na yung all over the Philippines kasi hindi na ipamigay yung sa Manila Bay. Kaya, pwede ba sagutin nyo to para tayo hindi nagkakagulo dito? Kasi, tinanggal yung budget nyo So, that means you will not be able to give out all over the Philippines. Yun nga ang ating advocacy to make them recycle their waste. Pero pag walang machine, mahirap mag-recycle ng waste. And if this local government will buy the machine, lalo silang hindi magre-recycle ng waste. Gusto nila bigay lang. Yung ang bigay, hirap na nga tayong turuan, yung hindi mo pa bibigyan. Kaya ayusin natin to. Kasi i-report nyo sa akin, yung pinangako nyo last year to 168 LGUs, ano ba ang condition na noon, and ba't pinatanggal nyo yung budget this year to be able to give away next year? Sino ba? EMB daw to, EMB.
Madam Chair, and the Honorable Senator Villar. Madam Chair,
Para maliwanag.
we'd like to...
Tama yung sinasabi before the budget, parang ino-audit na natin. Naglagay ako dyan. Alam ni Director Elian, kung hindi 800, magkano yon? 800 or 5? Ano yung eksaktong amount? What is the exact amount of the funds we put in the National Solid Waste Commission for the Manila Bay region, regions NCR 3 and 4A? How much is that?
For this year, 869.
O yun.
Last year. Sabi nilagay last year na hindi pa na
Sandali, isa-isa. For 2016, how much did I put? 500, 2016. And then for this year,
wala na.
I'm sorry? 800. So we have 8 plus 5, 1 point, no, it's there, 1.3 billion. Correct. Okay. 2016, 500 million. 2017, 800 million. 1.3 billion for the implementation of the RA 9003. Meron. Ang sinasabi siguro nyo ni Senator Villar, hindi naglagay kayo sa net ng 2018. But because they have not, there is, hindi tinanggal. Nandiyan yan, imposible. Maski tanggal, tinanggal, di ba? Okay?
May 700 million.
Yung capital outlay, tinanggal. Ayaw nyo liwanagin eh. Sabi nyo sa akin, ilalagay ko sa budget kasi tinanggal. Tapos ngayon, ayaw nyo aminin na tinanggal.
Can you clarify, please, 2016, 500, 800, 2017? Yes, both for IEC, capacity building, and capital outlay for the distribution of composters and what do you call it, shredders. Correct.
Then, plastic, recycling.
So it is in the budget.
Yes, ma'am.
It is not missing. It was not taken out. May we hear from Director Ellie, please? Yes.
For the current year, ma'am, lahat po ng mga equipment na nabanggit natin included po. Pero for the proposed budget for 2018, wala po doon.
Wala nga. Kasi baka kaya tinanggal, hindi nyo nga na-deliver yung 2016, 2017 eh.
There is a budget for the implementation of solid waste management in 2018. We are awaiting the full expenditure of the allotted 2017 budget for capital outlay.
Hindi pa ginagastos.
Hindi pa na-distribute.
Hindi pa, ma'am.
Hindi pa na-distribute. Hindi pa.
Ma'am, yung para sa capital outlay, pinadala natin sa PITC for procurement.
They have not procured it. Hindi pa.
It's
Just to clarify, the 800 million is 2017 budget. There's a portion of 800 for capital outlay and a portion for capacity building for IEC. But the capital outlay has not been implemented because it's for bidding. But just to warn everyone, it's a 12-month cycle, no longer 2 years. It will expire by December if you don't spend it, please. I think that's a concern of Senator Villela. Akala niya wala for 2017 nandyan pero hindi pa binibid.
Meron ng 2017, hindi na di-deliver to the beneficiaries. Tapos, because of that, wala na yung capital outlay ng 2018.
Ma'am, if I
Diyan,
may,
sinabi nila sa akin, siniro sila sa 2018.
Can you clarify it, please?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the 2018 Tier 2 budget, we were provided for the support to the development of material recovery facilities outside Manila Bay region, and we have targeted the budget is 500 million. There's a capital outlay component which is 100 million. So this will also cover for the procurement of the shredder, plastic, and biocomposter.
100 million? Ano mabibili mo sa 100 million if you're talking of all over the Philippines? Ano ba yan?
Can you please give us the 2016, which was carried over in 2017, MOE and the capital outlay, then the 2017, which I understand should be, I hope you're implementing it, Director Ellie. Who's supposed to oversee this? Gastusin yung 800 nyo. Sagot. Kaya ba yung gastusin?
If I may,
Yes.
Madam Chair, for the 2016 budget, which were provided 500 million for the solid waste management, and in 2016, we have an obligated amount of 200 million. The breakdown is the 87 million for MOE and capital outlay is 112 million. So far, as of July 31, 2017, we have obligated the 70 million for the neck building, which we had problem ending last year because of the failure in the bidding. And then, but this is for, we have already completed this with. And then for the monitoring vehicles, so that would cover the remaining.
Pakibigay po ng report, ang sinasabi lang po namin, yung 500 ng 2016, yung 800 present year, kasi hindi pa nakikita ni Senator Villar at naming lahat ang pag-distribute ng mga sa capital outlay because nasa PITC pa for bidding. Is that correct? But you realize, of course, that you need to spend the money, otherwise it will revert in December. And you assure us that before your budget is passed in October, it would have been bid out correctly, based on COA rules and regulations, and distributed to the LGUs whom you intended to give it to. Correct? For the 800. And your 2018, you have a provision both for capacity building and IEC as well as capital outlay. Correct? Yes.
So actually, want to clarify,
Yes.
for the 500 million last year, the support to the establishment of the material recovery facility, was provided to all regions, not only Manila Bay. So it was distributed already to the regions. What is pending in the central office is the support to the Manila Bay development of the 10-year solid waste management plan, as well as to the development, likewise, of Manila Bay region MRF. But to other regions, it was already given. So this is now is for, we have already completed the bidding process.
Tari si Matu. Kasi hindi ko naman binabantayan yung rest of the region, so hindi ko alam kung na-implement nga yun hindi. Ang sinasabi ko sa inyo, yung Manila Bay, hindi na-i-implement. So baka kung binabantayan ko din yung rest of the region, hindi rin na-i-implement yun. Inaamin nila ngayon kasi na hindi na-implement yung Manila Bay, kasi binabantayan ko sila. Hinahanap ko nasan yung machine na i-distribute nyo sa mga LGU sa Manila Bay. Wala pa. So baka mamaya, kaya mo lang sinasabi na implement ang the rest of the region. Kasi wala naman nagbabantay sa inyo doon. Kaya nyo lang inaamin na hindi nyo na-implement yung Manila Bay. Kasi binabantayan ko kayo doon. Hindi ko pa nakikita yung i-implement nyo. Kaya make sure of this. Kasi kung hindi na, why will you think it will be implemented to the rest of the region when you cannot implement Manila Bay? Oh, pareho lang yon. Oh, baka binubola nyo lang kami. Oh.
Well noted, Madam Chair, we're going to submit the report on the regional, other regional officers.
You know, you don't have to submit a report. I want to see, kasi tatanungin ko, sumulat lahat yung mga LGUs. Humihingi sila ng composter. Sabi nila, ang qualified dito would be the 8 provinces, Bataan, Pampanga, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Tarlac, Rizal, Laguna, Cavite. So pinasulat ko lahat ng mayor na gustong mag-composting sa inyo para bigyan nyo ng composter. Pinasulat ko lahat ng governor na humingi sa inyo nung plastic recycling facility para pati yung mga mayor ng Metro Manila para ma-recycle natin yung plastic. Wala pang nadating, Miss Kisa, hanggang ngayon eh. Oh. Paano ngayon niyo sasabihin na you succeeded in the region, you did not succeed in Metro Manila? Pareho lang yan eh. Baka rin sa region, wala rin nagbabantay sa inyo, kaya niyo sinasabing nag-succeed kayo sa region. Oh, so, ang hinihintay ko yung machine. Aanin natin yung report na yan kung pag tinatanong ko yung mga humingi sa inyong mga LGs, wala pang dumadating sa kanilang machine eh. Oh.
Kasi nga hindi pa nabid.
Kaya nga. Oh. Kaya nga, hindi ba ang performance is the actual delivery of machine? Why will we report on paper when it cannot be delivered doon sa mga beneficiary? Mabuti nga, sumusulat na yung mga mayor na kumbinsi na nga natin sila na gawin yung gusto nating gawin. Kung kayo naman ang kay bagal-bagal, wala rin mangyayari sa atin.
Very clear, we need to speed up the procurement process and the implementation of budget allocations in accordance with our laws. But second, with or without the machines, meaning composters and shredders, all these LGUs around Manila Bay and all over the country, I don't have a machine, but I segregate in my office, in my home, in my village. I am super low-tech, and that's how I want to be, to prove to people that even if they are not granted a machine, they can survive in a clean, healthy environment. Yes, because I have the passion to do it. According to Senator, everyone should have the passion, otherwise they don't deserve to, I don't know what. So, ibig ko sabihin po, napakaliwanag ng ating batas, napakasimple. Nakita yan ni Secretary Simatu. Ang compost pit, organic fertilizer, ang food waste, ang balat ng aking kakaining saba, ang bote, lata, plastic, ay pagkakakitaan ng tao. Bakit naman ayaw niya i-recycle at ibenta yan kung kikita siya pang Christmas party, pang bonus? Yung lapak na lang, yung mga cover, yung mentos, itong plastic na yan, yun na lang ang pupunta sa landfill. Actually, hindi kailangan ng machine. Household ay sobrang stricto, pero magbibigay na rin ng machine para sa mga taong kalahati lang ang passion sa shredder, composter. Kaya pakibilisan po ninyo para walang dahilan ng LGU. Pero actually, may mga household, purok, barangay, hindi kailangan ng machine, pero maayos ang pagpatupad ng ESWM. Sana po ang Boracay ay magawa niyong ganon. Sana po ang Manila Bay Region ay magawa niyong ganon. Sana ang Puerto Galera at lahat actually. Kasi it simplifies life. And Makati and Las Piñas are examples na nakakatipid ang LGU. Pwede yung ilagay sa ospital at sa edukasyon. Okay, let's proceed with the budget. Now, please give Senator Villar, the chair of the Standing Committee on Environment and the chairman of Finance, my office, the breakdown of 2016, 17, and 18 so that we know. And please speed up. And we just have to tell you to distribute it before your budget is passed by October. Yes.
Madam Chair, if I may add, for the 2016, we are already in the process of issuing the notice to proceed to the one for the Manila Bay region, amounting 2016, ma'am, for the 10,500,000. This is the support and development of MRF within Manila Bay region. And what we are referring to in 2017 for this year, we have also for Manila Bay region, which we transferred to the PITC amounting to 375 million. So this is ongoing for the 2017. Yes, ma'am. And for the various requests that we receive from your office and all other direct from the governors and the mayors, which are not included in the current, we are targeting it for 2018 budget proposal.
Ang usapan natin, yung 2017, we will give it to the LGUs around Manila Bay.
Yes, ma'am.
But in 2018, we will give nationwide.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes,
so, iba to. Iba tong Manila Bay, iba yung nationwide.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
in 2018, we need also money to give nationwide. Kasi, hindi naman pwedeng sa Manila Bay area lang tayo mamigay. Kasi marami ding interesado outside of the Manila Bay area. Para naman, yung mga may gusto, ma-encourage natin to continue because we are giving out machine.
We take note of the intervention of Senator Villar, and she's referring to composters and shredders, correct? And MRF. Are you actually allowed to give out capital outlay funds for MRF, or that should go to the LGU funds?
Actually, ma'am, the regional offices, when we
Are allowed.
they're the one who conducts the bidding and gives the equipment to the...
No, you're talking about composters and shredders.
Yes, ma'am.
How about MRF?
MRF which to be downloaded to the
Yeah,
the
kasi,
SOMOA.
I understood it in the past years. What Solid Waste Commission has been telling me is they are not allowed to construct MRF. It's to the account of the LGU. So I just wanted, baka makuha kayo, I just wanted to make sure that you're allowed to distribute funds to LGUs for the construction of MRFs. You're allowed. Bakit sinasabi niyo sa akin in the past years, hindi IEC lang kayo?
We enter into a memorandum of agreement with
The LGU. Okay, just to warn you here, you don't have to spend so much money. An MRF must use indigenous materials, low tech. Don't make cement buildings for MRF, please. Let's simplify it, and let's not spoil people by having big, massive constructions, because everything should just use recycled indigenous materials in their locality. And just to put on record, 2016 is exactly 500 million, and there was capital outlay of 159,900,000. 2017, it's not 800. I stand corrected. It's no. Dapat parehong ang ating numbers. It's 907,150,000 for 2017 for the ESWM budget. 907,150. Please pakisuri, because when you give us a breakdown, we have to have the same numbers. If I am wrong, then please correct me. And there's a capital outlay of 397 million. In 2018, that's 859,883. There's a capital outlay of 100 million, perhaps because of the big almost 400 capital outlay of 2017, which by the last quarter already, hindi pa yun nagagastos. Probably that's the reason why capital outlay, maliit lang ang linagay dyan.
Madam Chair, that is right, 907 million, but it includes the regular budget of the Solid Waste Management Division in the central office as well as the regional offices. The insertion under the Tier 2 budget is 820 million.
Whether it's an amendment or insertion as you call it, or whether it's a regular budget, that's an implementation of the law. So we should not, your regular budget should be implemented in compliance with the law. So whether it's an amendment or it's the regular budget, dapat yan, tugma yon ginagawa nyo. Okay, so please give us the breakdown where it went. I remember I met Director Ellie, hindi ba, mga 3 months ago. Micromanage ko yan, yung inyong expenditures. So please give our offices a breakdown of this 2 years implementation and the status and what LGUs in the 2018. Okay, thank you.
At saka, gusto ko lang po malaman, ano yung aid nyo sa, dun sa, tawag nyo, material MRF? O, anong model yon? Ano yung binibigay nyo sa kanila? Anong model yon? I'm just interested, palaging may aid to MRF sa local government. Anong model yon?
Ma'am, for the last proposal namin, yung Resource Recovery Facility, expanded Materials Recovery Facility kasi may...
Ano ginagawa nyo sa kanila para tulungan nyo, pinalalaki nyo yung MRF
So,
nila?
ibig sabihin ni Senator Villar, anong ibig sabihin ng nomenclature na aid to LGU for MRF? Example ng magkano, anong binibili? Semento, bakal, bamboo, net, yung sa paggawa ng MRF, paliwanag nyo sa amin.
Building ba yun o equipment yun?
Ma'am, puro equipments po yan. Wala.
Equipment. Anong klaseng equipment?
Yes.
Anong equipment,
Mayroong composting machine.
No, yun na nga binibigay na rin natin eh. Duplication?
For next year po yun, yung propose namin.
Kakaintindihan. Ang tinatanong ni Senator Villar, anong ibig sabihin sa salitang aid to MRF? Ito ba ay construction ng MRF or ito ba ay basura patrol na sasakyan or ito ba ay composter at shredder? Yun.
May portion na construction, ma'am. Saka IEC. Yeah.
May construction, kaya nga ng MRF.
Yes, ma'am.
Yun lang, pero huwag niyong i-engrande please, magagalit ako. Huwag niyong papagastusan ng magagarang mukhang building, hindi naman kailangan, at let's encourage LGUs to use recycled material. Recycled na bote, na mga steel pipes, etc. Recycled. Let's really encourage the use to recycle whatever is available. Yung mga junk shop,
Yes, sir.
just give us, nagkakaintindihan na tayo, so there's no missing funds. It's just very slow procurement. It's not just DNR, not to blame the Secretary or any of you, but please speed it up because otherwise by December, mawawala itong 900 nyo kung di nyo gastusin. Okay, thank you. Please proceed with your budget. Thank you.
Madam Chair of the Committee on Finance, Senator Loren, and Madam Vice Chair, Senator Cynthia Villar. To achieve our targets for next year, our proposed total budget is 27.12 billion pesos. Looking back, our budget for 2016 was 21.84 billion. In 2017, we were fortunate enough that we were granted an increase of 21.98% from our 2016 budget, or a total amount of 26.64 billion pesos. For next year, a minimal increase of 1.77%, amounting 27.12 billion pesos, was recommended by DBM. Your Honor, this is the breakdown of our 2018 budget by expense classes. This year, we have allocated 36% of our budget for maintenance and other cooperation expenses, 35% for capital outlay, and 29% for personal services. Your Honor, these slides show our major programs for fiscal year 2018 and the percent increase and decrease of our budget. Our major programs for 2018 are the following: the Enhanced National Grading Program, Intensified Environmental Protection, which includes clean water, clean air, solid waste management, Intensified Forest Protection and Anti-Illegal Logging, Geohazards, Groundwater Assessment and Responsible Mining, Enhanced Biodiversity Conservation and Scaling Up of the Coastal and Marine Ecosystem Programs, and Improved Land Administration and Management. And the other programs, which include Vulnerability Assessment, Updating Climate Resilient Plans, Geologic Risk Reduction and Resiliency Programs to ensure that we are aggressive in addressing the impact of climate change. Your Honor, I'll be presenting also our major highlights of our accomplishments in 2016 after the first semester of 2017 and our targets for 2018. Under our NGP, For 2016 to 30 June 2017, a total of 303,188 hectares were planted. This brings the total NGP covered areas to 1.68 million hectares since the launching of the program in 2011. In fiscal year 2016, our accomplishment is 717%. We also generated 1,070,536 jobs, employing 164,386 individuals. Our target for 2018, Your Honor, under this program are to establish additional 210,852 hectares plantation and produce about 200 million seedlings. Under our intensified environmental protection, yes, sir.
Maybe it would be best, para hindi tayo mawala sa trend, if you don't mind, Secretary and you, Sec Leones. So, NGP, and then we can ask questions there, then we proceed to the next, no? Okay, if it's fine with you. NGP. Although, I really want to focus NGP, just in case we may have another session just on NGP. But just to clarify, since we started in 2011, we've had 45,427,096,000 for NGP. My simple basic question, I've been sitting here for 7 years for this NGP. Is it a reforestation program or is it a poverty alleviation program or is it a livelihood program? May I know? Director Calderon ang head nun eh. Palaging si Director Calderon humarap sa akin nun eh. Yeah, whoever is in charge. So simple. Maybe Secretary can answer me or Yusek Leones. Is the NGP because we can only ask the right questions if we know what you intended it for. Although this is not a program started under the Duterte administration, 2011 Aquino administration. Is it considered reforestation, livelihood, or poverty alleviation, or all of the above?
I consider it all of the above because if you put it as a mix of the three, I consider the biggest pie, part of the pie is the reforestation. We have to restore the forests that were destroyed or were illegally cut by those ahead of us. The second one probably is the poverty alleviation because as I was asking them how much does the family receive per month if you handle the greening program? And we computed, and it is even more than minimum wage of a local earner in the same locality. So it is really a poverty alleviation program also. We were estimating about 20,000 a month for a family. Yes. Wherein if you learn the family goes to earn a living, a labor problem, magkano lang naman ang minimum wage law sa loob. It's really a livelihood program, Your Honor.
I just want to know how you computed the 20,000. I want to know how you arrive at that. Income per month of the one doing the greening program.
Actually, Madam Chair, the 20,000 is the cost per hectare over 3 years on a per hectare basis in the site development. But
family doing reforestation will earn 20,000 a month.
No, ma'am. What the Secretary said, with due respect, is that it's the cost of per hectare is 20,000. But based on the computation that we made with the Secretary, it's around 20% of that is a net income as far as the family on a per hectare basis. Per year. Per hectare per year po.
2,000.
20% of that, yes, 2,000.
20% of 20,000, 4,000.
4,000.
Okay, so 4,000 per hectare
Per year.
per annum,
Per year.
per household,
Per household.
ang net income ng pamilyang nagpa-participate sa NGP.
Apo, per hectare.
Pero more than 1 hectare ang ginagawa ng isang palit.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's the cost of establishment per hectare per year.
Okay, so tama kayo. So tama yung tanong niya, no? On the same, sorry to interrupt. Yung 300,000 na lang, hectares planted, ang cost ninyo, 20,000.
Yes,
So 300,000 times 20,000 per hectare.
Apo.
Times 0.20, because 20% nun, ang income, magkano yun? Can you give that to me? So that is the income of all families.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give that to me? Please, 300, para exact, 303,
Kano?
188 hectares times 20,000 times 20% of that is how much the income of the households. Only for 1 year, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Ano po yung suma total nun? So 303,188 times 20,000 times 0.20, which is 20%.
300,000 times 20,000 is 6 billion, which is the budget, near the budget of the National Greening Program. Tama ba yun?
Around 1.2 billion, Madam Chair.
No, 300,000 times 20,000. Magkano? 6 billion, ikaw naman.
Yes, ma'am, opo.
Oh,
Yung
6
sinasabi ko-
billion. So your budget is 7 billion. So yung 300,000 times 20,000, 6 billion, that is your greening
Yes,
budget.
ma'am. Apo.
O kasi may overhead ka pa. And then you say 20% of that goes to livelihood
the-
of those
that's
people planting.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's 4,000 a month to 4,000 a month to 164,000.
That's the 1.2 billion.
Oh,
Madam
yun
Chair.
ang 1.2.
Apo.
Yun yung 20%.
As far as the income that goes
Okay.
to the household.
So how do you compute per family?
Ngayon, paano natin nalalaman kung nasan yung 300,000 hectares na yon?
We have implemented good governance measures in the...
Like what?
Number one, lahat po ng area natin ay may certificate of site development.
Sino nag-i-issue?
Ang nag-i-issue po nun yung ating mga responsible officials, regional director, PENOS, sila po ang nagde-develop.
Eh kung mali yung in-issue nila, how will you know?
Ma'am,
Sino nag-audit?
Ma'am, we have technology now.
Like what?
GIS and GPS-based na po tayo. Hindi po pwedeng Photoshop yung mga geotag photos. Madali po nating makita kung ito ay hindi totoo.
So I just want for Secretary Simato to be able to understand that you have to 300,000 at 20,000 per hectare, di ba? So be sure that we have that 300,000 a year kasi maraming tao nagsasabi na hindi nila nakikita yung National Greening Program. And then nung last time po, nagtanong na ako kay Secretary Gina during the I'm just asking them. May tinatanong lang. Yeah. Kasi we agreed that it's 300,000 hectares times 20,000 is 6 billion, which is more or less the national greening budget. And 20% of that goes to
1.2 billion.
Goes to that 164,000 people employed.
And that's only 7,000. If the 20% of the 1 billion, if you divide it among the 164,386 persons, is only 7,000 a year. Kaya ako nagtataka, saan yung 4,000 a month? Yeah, 308,188 times 20,000. 20% of that, 1.2. 164,386 persons employed. O, i-divide mo yan. 7,000 lang nga. A year.
That's
A year.
divided
Tama
by
ba?
12.
A year.
Tama ba yun?
Divided by 12.
No, divided by 12 kasi monthly income
Yeah.
nila.
So 7,000 a year lang nga eh.
Divided by 12.
O 7,000 divided by 12.
500 a month. 600 a month. 600 a month.
O bakit iba nga? So gusto namin maintindihan yung 4,000 per hectare net income per month, ang sabi nyo, or per year yun? I'm sorry?
That's for per hectare po, ma'am. But a family will not only, for 1 hectare, mas sobra po ang hinahawakan ng one family.
164,000. Ano yun? Divided by families. Per person yun.
Per individuals yan, 164,000 yan.
Madam Chair, as far as the jobs generated is concerned, iba po ito. Ito po yung mga nai-employ natin as far as the NGP. Opo, sa mga nagpapatupad ng proyekto. Meron pong seedling production, meron pong sa site preparation. So iba po siya.
Mali yung ano. Ibig sabihin, itong 1 million jobs generated, bakit may 1 million jobs at saka 100? Anong diferensya ng jobs generated at the persons employed?
Yung job po kasi, as defined by DOLE, these are the set of tasks. From seedling production, site preparation.
What is the difference, please, on the jobs, the people, itong 1,070,000 persons whose jobs were generated because of the NGP and the 386 persons who were employed? I don't see the difference of the jobs generated. These are persons.
Yes, ma'am.
O ano yung 164? Anong kaibahan yan?
In-equate lang po, yung po mga tao, yung jobs po kasi, we define it as the set of tasks. Yung employed po, these are mga tao that are directly involved in
so
the
program. So the 164,386 are the individuals.
Yes, ma'am.
And they multitasks,
Yes,
nagtanim ng seedling,
Yes.
nagwalis ng dumi, at nagtubig ng halaman, 3 tasks sa isang tao. Ay, naku, hindi kayo marunong mag-communicate. Ano ba yan? So, ibig sabihin, multitasking,
Yes, ma'am.
maaring isang person ay 20 tasks sa isang araw. Ay, hindi, so dapat tinitingnan lang natin yung persons employed because the tasks can be multitasking. So, yun na nga ang aming sinabi. Lumalabas lang na 7,000 per year. O, nasan yung ating 4,000 per month, per hectare? How do you compute that? Yun ang tanong niya 10 minutes ago, di ba? How did you come up with the 4,000 per month per hectare? Because we computed it based on your budget and the hectareage. We do not know where you got your numbers of 4,000.
Madam Chair, yun pong approach natin sa NGP basically is community-based.
Do that na. Do not lecture us on that.
Yes, ma'am.
Please give us, please, the 4,000 a month. We want, di ba, Senator Villa wants to know, how did you get the 4,000 a month? Kasi maganda eh. May per hectare, may 4,000 a month. O, maka 10 hectares ka, may 40,000 a month. So, kung tama ang sagot nyo, susuportahan pa namin. Gusto lang namin maintindihan, paano namin maintindihan yung 4,000 per hectare per month. Saan nyo nakuha yung number na yun?
Madam Chair, ang ating pong computation doon, on the 4,000, yun po yung netong pumupunta sa pamilya. Ang isa pong pamilya, ang isang household, on the average, for example, ang isang PO po, usually ang kontrata po nila at the minimum is 50 hectares. So, kung 50 hectares po at 20,000 per hectare, ma'am, community po, communal po siya. So, one community, one CBFMA or one PO, more or less have 40 household. So, doon po sila umiikot on the different activities as far as the NGP is concerned. We'll submit the details po siguro para
we will have a separate hearing on the NGP.
Okay.
Because 45 billion has been given to the NGP. We want to see in every region, in every province, what kind of NGP was done, what kind of mangroves, seagrass bed, etc., what kind of hardwood species, kung meron man, or fruit-growing trees. Separate hearing. I will have part 2, NGP, focus on NGP, and others we see along the way which may eat up into the time. And please prepare.
Bago lang natin iwanan yung,
Opo.
yung NGP, it's not 20,000 a month actually.
4,000 nga.
Sinabi kasi namin if the family can do or one person can do 5 hectares.
So 20,000 per hectare.
It's an annual income, not monthly.
Okay. 20,000 per hectare per year investment, total cost, and 20% is the income of the family per year. So that's 4,000 a year. Okay, understood. But we want to understand it better, and we want to be educated on the success or failure of the NGP if you show us exactly where you brought the funds from 2011. Parang may review. Dapat may sunset review ito eh. Oo eh. Because we thought after the Aquino administration, it will die a natural death. But it's being adopted by the Duterte administration until 2022. So I think it's about time that we review it, right? I remember Senator Surge was very against it, and I chaired the budget, and I defended the budget. So I have to be comfortable with the budget I'm defending, because I will be asked that on the floor. Yes. So we will have a separate hearing on the National Greening Program. Yes.
I just want to make a manifestation. No? Kasi you have to understand that of all the budget of DNR, ang pinaka-controversial is the National Greening Program. Wala kasi pong naniniwala sa inyo na merong National Greening Program. So you have to convince us that there is, para ma-explain namin sa tao that it can be justified. Kasi lahat sinasabi na yan National Greening Program nyo, yan lang yung source of corruption for DNR. So you have to defend. Kasi ina-admit nyo ba na yan ang source of corruption sa DNR? O ba't ayaw nyo i-depend ng maayos para hindi kayo na-accuse that that is a source of corruption sa DNR? Yan ang pinakamalaking portion ng budget nyo. That's 7 billion out of 27. That's 1/4 of their budget. Tapos sasabihin sa inyo that that is a source of corruption. So dapat i-defend nyo that this is not a source of corruption to the point that you bring us to a very successful national greening program dito sa Pilipinas. Pumunta tayo doon para pati ako, pati si Senator Loran ma-defend na totoo naman palang merong national greening program.
Gawin po nyo, sa ating hearing po ng national greening, so yung 45 billion, no? Ilagay po nyo ang bawat probinsya, ang bawat, alam na nyo yung gusto ko naman, at nandun po yung proyekto, kung nagtanim kayo. To be fair, yung sa Pidig, Ilocos Norte, alam nyo kung ganun lang pagpatupad lahat, matagumpay. Natutuwa ako. Yung kape ni Mayor, ang galing, at saka yung Mayor, may puso, may passion. Ilocano. Diba? Oo, yung sa Pidig, yan, puntahan natin yun. Pero wala na akong panahon sumama sa inyo. Picturean na lang nyo at i-video. Pakita nyo lahat ng inyong Pidig sa buong 45 billion.
So sumama, I want to see.
Yes.
I'll provide you the transportation, provided you can show me a any successful national greening program.
So the 45 billion, just parang performance audit, pakita lang nyo in numbers and accomplishments and photos and the beneficiary, whether it was an LGU or association, whatever. We recognize the former chair of the Finance Committee, Senator Cheese Escudero. Yeah. Sa Sorsogon, meron ba kayong NGP? Meron ka bang alam na NGP doon?
I have other topics actually, Madam Chair,
Yes,
but on
okay.
this issue, I heard what the Secretary said a while ago to your query as to what the NGP is. I'd like to place on record that I don't quite agree, Secretary, with all due respect, that it's all of those. Yun yung ancillary benefits, if ever. May livelihood, may anti-poverty, but precisely why your department is the ANR, ang focus lang talaga is greening, meaning reforestation. That's the main objective. Now, if it so happens that the communities benefit from it, thank you. But you mentioned numbers as well. To add to the discussion, ano bang tinatanim? Pareho ba tinatanim sa buong Pilipinas? How can you say it's 10,000 per hectare? When yung income daw?
No, 4,000.
4,000 per year?
Per year, per hectare.
Ano bang tinatanim?
As far as the NGP, Madam Chair, Honorable Senator, meron po tayong commodity roadmap. We plant timbers, 3 species. We plant fuel wood. Meron po tayong high value crop like coffee, cacao, rubber. We have fruit trees. We have endemic species for protected areas. We have bamboo and
Who
mangrove.
decides what to plant where and what's the basis, sir?
Very crucial po yung site assessment and mapping na ginagawa ng ating mga senros and penros.
Kayo gumagawa?
Ang ating po mga senros at mga penros, sila po ang nagde-determine on during the survey. They have to determine kung ano yung appropriate sa site. They have to consult with the LGU, with the people there, and the community.
We don't have that yet, sir. Sir, my basic problem is, after spending over 45 billion for the past 10 years, wala pa tayong mapa, what's best to plant where? I mean,
We have.
we have that now?
Madam Chair, Honorable Senator, lahat po ng NGP sites are survey and map and assess. Ano po yung dapat itanim? Ano yung dapat na sino mga taong kasama sa pagtatanim? Ito ba ay timber? Ito ba ay high value crop? So kasama po siya.
This is cross-reference with the DA mapping insofar as answering the question, what's best to plant where? Because DA did its own mapping.
Ang DA po kasi they have nationwide soil assessment. Ang porous soil po, isa lang po yung classification niya, undifferentiated forest soil. So very technical po siya kasi po, pag sinabing forest, wala pong detailed assessment. That's why hindi po siya covered ng DA study. Kaya po gumagawa po kami talaga ng detailed assessment on the ground.
Which takes into account soil quality, slope, do you take into account weather patterns?
Kasama po yun.
Pati weather patterns?
Kasama po siya, weather pattern. And we also use indirect site indicators. For example, tinitingnan po ano yung mga tumutubo na sa lugar na pwedeng itanim para maging basihan kung yun ang dapat itanim.
How many sites do you have, sir, under the NGP?
So far, we have around 77,000 sites all over the country.
And increasing, I guess.
Yes, po.
It goes through the LGU or cooperatives?
We have cooperatives, we have LGU partners similar to what we have as far as PIDIG and other LGUs all over the country.
Percentage-wise, sir, ilang porsyento LGU, ilang porsyento ang cooperatives? Second, sir, sinong gumagawa ng seedlings? Co-ops, I guess.
Yes, sir. Pagka po mga ordinary timber species, basically, kasama na po siya sa comprehensive site development contract. Pero pagka po mga high value crop, we resort to somehow procuring it from proper producers. For example, we have Nestle for coffee that provides the technical assistance also. And we also partnership with SUCs similar to what we have in other areas.
Actually, Secretary, you're new to the office. Yung mga matagal na sa DNR, ako, 11 na taon na ako sa gobyerno. Ang pinakamalaking item sa budget nyo is always NGP. Always. Bar none. Di ba? Kahit ngayon. Kahit bumaba pa siya to 2 billion or over 2 billion, siya pa rin yung single biggest ticket in your budget. And every year, that is the case. Kaya nga umabot na ho ng 45 billion eh. Sa totoo lang, yan din ho ang numero unong gatasan kung may gagatasin man sa DNR. Why? Ang hirap po i-monitor eh. Gumastos sa seedling, namatay. Parang nung sa panahon nyo, yung combat boots at sabon, di ba, mahirap kong bilangin eh. Napudpod na eh, nagamit na sa pagligo eh. Pag binili ng kuha, wala na eh. The same is true here. And it's so difficult, quite frankly, to account for 45 billion, and yet our forest cover doesn't seem to be increasing. After 45 billion, we have the same issue with DAR. I'm sure Ma'am Cynthia has the same issue with DAR. After spending over 400 billion, hindi pa ho namin nakikita yung epekto na bumuhid, gumanda yung katayuan ng magsasaka. And the same is true here. So we would be asking for an inventory, hopefully before the deliberations on the floor, so that we can justify this again. With the permission of the Chair and Ma'am Cynthia, Ma'am, can I proceed with my other points? Secretary, ba't bumaba yung budget nyo? Tumaas ba yung budget nyo?
Can I request Yusek Adobo?
Please, sir.
Tumaas ng county, Your Honor.
Tumaas na konti, but your new general appropriations went down. Di ba? As I said, but the new general appropriations went down. ayon sa OSEC lang bumaba. Sir, question. I went over the budget. I just have some... Under the budget of Natural Resources Management Arrangement Agreement and Permit Issuance, I'm referring to page 33. Page 33 of NEP, Volume 2. Your budget.
Ano to? Ha? Halika. Page 33.
Actually, more accurately, page 34. You have it, sir?
Yes, sir.
Bakit hindi niyo dinownload yung pondo sa mga probinsya? Bakit nasa regional office yung sa Region 5, unlike in other regions? Page 34, Region 5.
You're referring, Your Honor, to Region 5?
Yes, it's on page 34, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bakit hindi niyo dinownload sa probinsya? Bakit nasa regional office yung pondo? That's the only reason that you did that.
May I ask the Regional Director of Region 5 to answer the query, Your Honor?
Please.
Good morning, Your Honors.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, the targets for Region 5 is still for final assessment. So the funds were lump sum in the regional office and then subject to identification of specific sites
Sa
per
buong
province.
Pilipinas, nahuli ang Region 5. Why is that?
Nagkaroon lang po ng konting issues with the site assessment, Your Honor.
Again, in the entire country? Only Region 5 and none of the provinces complied with site assessment? Where was the problem, ma'am?
Sir, nahuli lang po yung site assessment in one province in Masbate. So we decided to lump sum muna the targets in regional office. And
Do you
then
have it now? No, do you have it now?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet?
Not yet, sir.
Will you have it by the time you approve the budget, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that we can unbundle it, Secretary?
Yes, sir.
Very much like the other regions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'll just breeze through the performance indicators, sir. Page 59. Sir, ano yung 133%? Page 59. Page 59, MFO3, item number 5.
Ito in FO3. Yeah. Percentage, permit, clearances. The regions would set the target, and at times they would overshoot the target. That's why the performance should be beyond 100%.
Sir, it's not a number. The target is acted upon in 7 days. And the target for 2016 is 80% should be acted upon in 7 days. That's the target. Di ba? It's not the number. It's the length of time.
May I ask the planning to
Please, sir.
Very wrong.
Sorry, I cannot see how you can achieve 133%. I mean, it's 100%. You know yung perfect eh. Sumubra pa kayo sa perfect. Percentage of permit and or clearance applications acted upon in 7 working days from date of receipt. How can it be 133%? You must have acted upon it all within 7 days. So that's 100%. Saan ho galing yung 133? Ma'am, kung 103 typographical, dalawang number yung mali eh. 3 at 3 eh. Sir?
The nearest you can think of, Your Honor, perhaps because the performance indicator is that a permit or a application for something should be acted in 7 days, could have been acted earlier than what is required under the law.
So how did you compute that, sir? Sorry, sir. Meaning, it was not even asked of you. As long as it's within 7 days, it's within 7 days. 80% of applications acted upon in 7 days was the target. You achieved, the highest should only be 100. I mean, di ba, sir?
May I ask the... Anong formula?
There were more applications.
Sir, hindi. It's the period of time acted upon. It's not the number of applications.
Ashikora will answer the question, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Actually, it's based on historical and then it's demand-driven. So, for example, kung nag-target kami ng 50 permits, dumating ay...
Ma'am, it's not the number of permits. It's the permits acted upon within 7 days. Read it, ma'am. It does not say number of permits acted upon. It says permits acted upon in 7 days. Your target was 80% of those applications should be acted upon in 7 days.
Okay, sir. That means shorter ang number of days that we were able to act upon. For example, instead of instead of 7 days, 2 or 3 days na actionan na namin.
So in average of nyo?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, mali yata yun. Kindly correct it. You achieved acted upon in 7 days or less. If all of the applications were acted upon in 7 days or less, then your actual should be 100%. I mean, di ba, ma'am? How can you even factor in 3 days to, 2 days on, 4 days to, i-average up namin sa divided by, di ba, ma'am? So you're telling me ang average, if you have an additional 33%, your average was 2 days, 3 days? Kasi kung 100% ang 7 days, may 33% ka pa, ang average nyo, you're telling me is 3 days?
Sir, we compute it, for example, our target is 7 days, but we were able to issue it within 4 days. So 7 minus 4, so that's 3 days over the 7 days plus 100%. Kasi it's time based on the timeliness, so over 100%.
I agree, ma'am, but let's change it.
Yeah.
It's within 7 days, so you could have said 100% compliance.
Sir, but that was the prescribed formula
Of DBM?
Sir, no, the civil service under the SPMS.
Para sa performance bonus? Hindi, yun lang naman ang purpose.
Yes, sir. Part of the performance bonus, SPMS po.
Then I'll take my case up with the civil service. Also take note, ma'am, page 60, performance cannot be by end of 2022. It should be on a yearly basis. You should have yearly targets to achieve your 2022 target. I'm referring to page 60, last item. Next, page 61, sir. Number of residential land patents issued within the prescribed time frame, 2011 to present. Is this correct, sir? 431.45 million ba to? Ano yung M? $431.45 million? 4 times bigger than our population?
Amy? This might be incorrect, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Now, policy-wise, sir, sorry, I'll try to be very, policy-wise, are you issuing mining permits already? Again?
Can we refer the question to the Director of MGB, Your Honor?
Your Honor, good morning, and to all who are attending this hearing.
Good morning, sir.
For the moment, Your Honors, there are no permits that are issued because of the 2016-01, which is moratorium in the processing of new applications. But for renewals, there are some renewals, but for new applications, there is none, Your Honor.
New applications, wala. So it's the same policy as before.
Wala.
Second, sir, the President announced a new regime insofar as mining is concerned. Can I address this still to you, sir? How is that going?
What do you mean, Your Honor?
I don't know. You tell me because it's the President who said that. Sabi niya, kailangan na raw baguhin. Kailangan baguhin daw yung regime ng mining laws natin. He said that in his honor. So where are you on that now?
Actually, there are some, the NGB is conducting reviews on, first on EU 79, because there are provisions in EU 79 that we feel that is not approvable. No? For example, in Minang Bayan, it becomes very cumbersome. The processing of applications for Minang Bayan is cumbersome. So that's one item that we have been reviewing. But there is no formal proposal yet of, that has been submitted to the DNR Secretary, but the MGB is conducting the review, sir.
But were you tasked by the President to submit such a proposal? Because remember, the President would have to report on that policy speech less than a year from now. Does it include sharing?
Yes, sir, that's one item that we have been reviewing. The other administrative order that we are also proposing for the lifting is yung 1704, no? Which is the ban on open pit mining. So this we have made a proposal also, if it's possible, to lift the ban on open pit mining. That's one also.
Procedurally, do you intend to do this piecemeal? Meaning as you go along, babaguhin nyo? Or do you intend to make a comprehensive proposal insofar as how we will approach mining in the Philippines? Because if you say you're ready to propose the lifting of a ban on open pit mining, then you're going about it piecemeal.
Yes, sir. We are doing it actually. The MICC is one big group that we are consulting, because the MICC is the advisory body of the President. So we're also consulting with the MICC about this direction, sir.
I would rather, sir, that you do it in a comprehensive manner rather than piecemeal. Baka sa dulo, hindi ho magtagpi-tagpi yung proposal ninyo. Do you need legislative cover, sir? Or puro by administrative fiat lang po ito?
We are not really sure if there's a need, at the moment we are not really sure there's a need for congressional assistance. But we are now doing this on administrative level, Your Honor.
When do you plan to finish it, sir, your review? When will you be ready to make concrete proposals, whether piecemeal or comprehensive?
I will defer to the DNR Secretary, sir.
Well, when will you submit your recommendations to him then?
Actually, we already submitted this proposal to the DNR Secretary.
On open pit mining only, but comprehensively. Yung buong mining...
We have not yet submitted that, sir.
When do you plan to do that, sir?
We will do that, sir. We will do that, sir. To the help with the MICC.
When, sir? Within the
as soon as possible, sir. As soon as possible.
Within the year, I guess. Mahaba-haba na yun. Secretary, sir?
Yes, sir.
I mean, at some point, you have to report back to the President, given his policy speech, that he wants it changed.
Okay.
What's the deadline, sir?
So we in the legislative division are also working on a comprehensive one, not just of mining, but because mining also impacts on other aspects of DNR's work. So we're working on a full and comprehensive legislative framework, and that will be done in 2 months.
2 months.
But it's not going to be as detailed for the mining sector. We've already conducted dialogues with the MGB, and we're developing, as instructed in the SONA, proposals so that the MICC can also look into the proposals.
But if you will change the sharing, you would need a law.
Yeah,
because
yes,
that's found in the law.
Yes, that's why our proposal, Your Honor, will be legislative also. It's called an MPSA, but at this point, we don't consider it sharing because there is no larger.
So no new MPSA is issued, and no new ones will be issued?
No, sir, at the moment, no, sir.
Until when, sir? Until the new rules are up?
I defer to the Secretary, sir.
Sir? So while we're conducting the review, no new MPSAs will be issued? Sir? Sir, you are?
Sir, I'm Assistant Director Wiking of MGB.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, there is EO 79 who imposed that there be a moratorium on the issuance of new mining until Congress has passed a revenue regime which is now pending in Congress, Your Honor.
So wala nga po?
Wala po. Renewals lang po ng mga mining permits and exploration permits and minambayan ang amin pong pinaprocess ngayon.
Sir, to what extent will the new regime impact on existing MPSAs?
Your Honor, they'll continue to be valid as far as the fiscal regime is concerned. Once the new law is passed, all the existing mines has to comply, Your Honor.
Really?
As far as, because their permits will be renewed after the expiry of the first 25 years, so they will be covered by that new law already, Your Honor.
So it will be your position that the new law will have retroactive effect?
No, Your Honor, it's prospective in application, but for the renewals of these existing permits, they will now be covered by the new regime, Your Honor.
But you have to understand, sir, when these mining companies entered into whatever financial arrangement they entered into with their foreign partners, it was on the assumption that certain fees would be at this level. You're changing it already.
No, Your Honor, the applicable of the new regime will be on the renewal of their permits because it will be, Your Honor, the renewal is subject to their compliances, Your Honor.
I agree, sir, but just be sure, sir, because I'm sure they will bring you to court. They will bring you to court questioning it. Two more points, Madam Chair. Do we still have a total lag ban, Secretary?
We are still total lag ban, Your Honor, on the natural forest and natural forest.
Is this the same? Is this the same as what President Aquino did?
I believe that the EO stands unless revoked.
So it's still the same EO?
Yes, Your Honor.
So yung mga may laging concessionaire pwede magputol?
Yes.
Wala na ba? So ano yung unnatural?
Is there any logging concessionaire? No, wala na.
Those who planted under the IFMA may be allowed to cut what they have planted.
Sorry, I'm using lagging concessionaire loosely, but roughly it's the same.
There's no lagging.
No, but it's the same. Lupa, IFMA nagtanim, pwedeng putulin.
Yeah.
Yun yung unnatural mo.
Yun yung unnatural.
Yung tinanim ng tao. So lahat ng nasa greening program natin pwedeng putulin.
Pwedeng i-harvest. Yung tinanim lang, those are planted in the protected area. Cannot be harvested.
Clarify po natin, Senator Escudero. Walang logging in first growth forests. Secondary growth forest, wala rin, right? And natural forest, first growth, secondary, protected areas. But you say IFMA, Industrial Forest Management Areas, and CBFM, meron. So, correct. Tama ba ako? Sige. So, bibigyan niyo po sa amin ang listahan ng lahat ng IFMA at CBFM. And this IFMA and CBFM must not be in watersheds, protected areas, and natural forests. Correct? Sige.
I was actually headed in that direction, Madam Chair. Thank you for that. Kindly submit to us that list. So, percentage-wise, gaano karaming kahoy ang nakukuha natin galing dito sa mga IFMA at CBMA?
Can the Director of Forest Management answer that, Your Honor?
Kumbaga, basic tanong ko, gaano karaming kahoy na kukuha natin galing doon for domestic consumption?
Sir, based on our roundwood equivalent study conducted 2 years ago, ang demand natin for roundwood is 5.3 million cubic meter annually. Pero ang napoprovide lang po ng mga plantation natin is basically 1 million. We have to import the rest of the balance.
You have to import the rest of the balance?
Yes, sir.
Are you coordinating, sir, with either BIR, DTI? Kasi dapat ho, di ba, pag may binibentang kahoy sa kahit sa anong hardware, dapat may turo sang pinagkunan niya.
Yes, sir. Apo.
Di ba na?
Technically po, lahat po ng hina-harvest na puno, meron pong permit, even coming from private lands. And then, lahat po yan, yun po nagbebenta, may mga lumber dealers permit po, and they have to submit a report to our Senros.
They submit it to your Senros, even their quantity and volume?
Yes, sir.
Sir, can I see that? I'm just curious because I'm sure with our problem with the Bureau of Customs, it will never match.
Yeah. Sa amin po kasi, based on their, may record po kami ng importation, may record po kami ng disposition, pati po yung paglabas sa bansa, meron po tayong record.
It matches? And it matches?
As far as our monitoring, it matches, Your Honor.
Down to the last cubic meter of log?
Hindi naman po. Hindi naman po ganun ka-detalye as far as gusto rin po namin pumunta dun sa aspeto na yon. That's why we are now doing a timber tracking study na kung saan magkakameron na po ng parang barcode for every tree and for every lumber na naiikot para pong sigarilyo. But still an FAO-funded project and we're doing the piloting in major regions.
Can I see that data, sir, yung pumasok at yung locally produced at yung kinonsume? Because I can tell you right now, the disparity between imported fuel, and clearly we're not producing fuel in the country. Our Gallup well cannot produce fuel that we can use here. The disparity is about 4 billion liters a year. Yung kinokonsume sa niregister sa customs na pumasok. So may ginamit dito 4 na bilyong litro ng gasolina na walang record ang custom na pumasok.
Bakit BNR?
No, I'm just saying insofar as logs are concerned, it might be the same. Yung kinonsume na kahoy dito compared to locally produced and imported, baka day and night din ho yung kaibahan eh. And we would want to see that data.
We'll submit, Your Honor.
One last point, Madam Chair. What are the GOCCs under DNR, sir?
NRDC, Your Honor, Philippine Mining Development Corporation, Bukidnon Forests. Yun lang yata, Your Honor.
Ang may pera lang is LLDA? Ay, ang may pera lang is PRA? Yung iba walang pera?
PRA. Ang PMDC may kaunti silang pera.
LLDA walang pera?
Ang LLDA is an attached agency, but we don't call it a...
But for budgetary purposes, it's considered a GOCC.
The General Manager is Your Honor.
Sir, it is a GOCC. It is a GOCC. PR, ano ba yung isa? Natural Resources Development Corporation.
It is, Your Honor.
Sir, I'm curious, may I find out and kindly just submit it to the committee, are you bound by the regulation that all GOCC's depository banks should be a government-owned bank?
We are, Your Honor.
You are?
Yes, Your Honor.
By virtue of that regulation, so lahat ng GOCC's yun nakadeposito sa either land bank or DBP?
DBP.
Yeah, either land bank or DBP.
Or
Dalawa lang
DBP.
yun. Not in any private commercial bank. Kindly confirm that with us, sir, by a letter to that effect, just to be sure. Because for the information of the chair, I asked that question because we discovered it in one of our hearings in the Committee on Banks that, well, there's a remote case. All the sequestered corporations of PCGG were transferred to the bank in question that we were investigating, Luzon Development Bank. And as soon as the term of the incumbent PCGG chair at that time was over, it was transferred to another bank.
Bakit may mga gano'n?
No,
Why?
exactly.
They're preferred banks?
It would be a violation of Section 3E of the anti-graft law, which is basically giving undue advantage if you transfer the account from one
Just to
bank
clarify, sorry, I did not attend your Committee on Banks meeting. What bank are you referring to, and why you're saying that the PCG funds was transferred to a specific bank where, I don't
Let me
understand.
clarify, ma'am. The sequestered corporations of PCGG,
Yes.
all of the bank accounts were deposited to a particular bank,
Which bank?
Luzon Development Bank. And then as soon as the term of the chair was over, was yung bagong chair, nilagay na naman sa iba.
This
That's
has
why I
nothing
wanted-
to do with the DNR hearing, but it's just setting the premise why this question is being
Why
asked.
I'm asking
Okay.
of it, and can I request the chair to kindly request that of all line agencies insofar as all their attached corporations are concerned, if only to find out kung saan po nilagay yung pondo at pera, if it is really in a government deposit.
For the
or
attached
iba.
agencies of the DNR and
They are.
OGCs, we will submit, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, sir. That would be all, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and thank you to the DNR family. Thank you, sir. And good luck, sir.
Yes, thank you, Senator Escudero. We were in the NGP, and we said that we will look at their budget more closely when they identify all their areas covered since 2011. Now, to the next slide, please. And we have not understood completely the basis of the 4,000 per hectare per year, which you will explain to us during the NGP hearing. Okay. We proceed to the next, please, after NGP. We skip that first. So you're on the second.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Under our intensified environmental protection, we maintain 39 real-time air quality monitoring stations. On water, we forged 709 memorandum of agreements for the adoption of esteros under our Adopt Estero program. 11 additional water quality management areas were designated and monitored, 10,648 firms. For solid waste management, we continuously provided technical assistance to LGUs for the implementation of the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act. An additional of 619 MRFs were established, servicing a total of 619 barangays. This brings to a total of 9,954 MRFs servicing 13,226 barangays. For 2018, Your Honor, our target for air quality is to calibrate and maintain the 45 existing air quality monitoring stations to ensure timeliness and accuracy of the data generated. 20 are for Metro Manila and 25 outside Metro Manila. We will install an additional of 28 air quality monitoring stations in urban areas outside Metro Manila. On water quality, we will designate and operationalize additional 8 water quality management areas in collaboration with concerned local government units, national government agencies, local communities, and other stakeholders. We will also intensify our efforts in the adoption of additional 64 esteros and intensify Manila Bay cleanup of 15 major river systems. And in terms of solid waste management, the department will provide support to establish additional 500 MRFs, and will close and rehabilitate 50 dump sites in urban areas outside Metro Manila.
Pakaibalik po yung pahinang yon. May I request DNR to break up into air, water, and solid waste. This comprises our whole environment. While it should be tackled together, it is so important that we look at it individually because these are individual laws. Air quality. We have air monitoring stations. Can you kindly show us any slide? How does a monitoring station look like? At any one time, I know the quality of the air I breathe. Are all these 45 monitoring stations, first, where are they located? How are they all working? Can the public be apprised on the quality of air that we're breathing now? And who is the focal person or agency in DNR in charge of this? Is it EMB?
EMB.
Who is our EMB head? Assistant Director ba or Director?
Director Turbelli is the new EMB Director, and I am the Assistant Director of the EMB.
Si Director. Ito, si Director.
Turbilla po.
Si Director. Sino pong sasagot? Si Attorney Yones o si Director po? Bago lang si Director eh. So siguro si Jonas na sumagot. Yusek Jonas. EMB ang nagpapatupad ng ating Clean Air Act of 1999. We have 45 air quality stations. Ano po ang pinakamalapit na air quality monitoring station dito sa Senado? At binibisita ba ito ng ating regional directors ng EMB? Ito pa'y umaandar? At kung puntahan natin ngayon, makikita ko ba ang kalidad ng hihit ng hangin?
Ma'am, ang pinakamalapit natin sa Lasal, Taft.
Oh, Lasal Taft. Opo. That means that DNR has a property there.
Usually, ma'am, ang ginagawa natin yan, we enter into MOA with institutions.
Okay.
Tayo nagpo-provide ng monitoring
Meron ba kayong
stations.
letrato? Ano ba yan? Is it a building? Is it a machine? So that we understand. Okay.
Parang trailer lang po yan.
Oh, it's like a trailer.
Na
Yes.
meron doon yung mga computer
Yes.
and then analyzer.
Educate us. What is the acceptable limit of, what do you call it, TSP?
Yeah.
Particulate matter? What is the simplest word to use? Particulate matter.
Usually, sir,
TSP.
Madam Chair, in the past, we're only measuring the total suspended particulates.
Yes.
But then because of our new technology, we have purchased mga new equipment that are capable of monitoring already the PM10.
What is the PM10?
Ang PM10, yung 10 micrograms na po yan, micrograms. And then, ito yung mga pagka in-inhale mo, ma'am, sa it cannot be controlled by nostrils. It go directly to your lungs.
Very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
PM10.
PM10.
Dati, TSP, total
suspended
particulate.
Yes,
ano po ang epekto ng TSP sa ating kalusugan?
Yung TSP po, usually ito yung combination din ng mga PM10 at saka yung mga dust. Usually, yung TSP hindi masyado, ma'am, na health hazard because yung nostril natin nakokontrol yung TSP. But for PM10 and PM2.5, ito po yung delikado because it goes directly to your lungs and to your bloodstream.
We recognize Senator Mig Subiri. Thank you for being here. Ano po, saan po nanggagaling ang PM10?
Ang PM10 and PM2.5 usually nanggagaling po sa motor vehicles,
Okay.
sa mga industries.
Anong klaseng industriya po?
Usually mga coal,
ayan.
and then yung mga...
Bakit kayo nagbibigay ng ECC sa mga bagong coal?
Actually, ma'am, wala kaming...
walang bago.
Ito
Okay.
po yung mga dati
And you don't intend to issue any ECC to new coal? Because it's very clear, PM10 and 25, diretso sa baga, hindi kaya ng buhok ng ating ilong at ikamamatay natin lahat. Nanggaling po yan sa mga vehicles, kaya I support the shift to e-vehicles kung kaya, at galing sa industriya, sabi nyo, gaya ng coal. Okay. So, wala pa po kayong ina-approve na coal na ECC?
Wala po kaming ina-approve
Okay.
sa
At alam naman natin na sa ibang bansa, Amerika, Europe at lahat, even China and India, they are scaling down on coal. That's why all these coal peddlers are coming to Asia, especially the Philippines. And they're into very big lobby money with leaders and media and everyone to try to change the mindset that coal is not too bad, that there's such a thing as clean coal, as if there was clean cigarette. Okay? I thought you stopped smoking. Okay. Yes. So, para lang on record, it didn't come from me, it came from the DNR. So, sige po, yung air quality monitoring station, ano po ang katanggap-tanggap na level po ng ating TSP and the PM10 and PM2.5? What is PM2.5?
Yung PM2.5, ito po yung mas maliit pa, na talagang mas talagang pumapasok po sa baga natin, lungs, and then sa bloodstream.
We are able to monitor that?
Yeah, ma'am.
Saan po galing yung PM25?
Pareho din po sa motor vehicles din.
At saka sa industriya?
Mga plants,
Anong industriya? Coal pa rin?
yung mga gumagamit mo, mga sa diesel, not only coal, but
fossil fuel.
Fossil fuel.
Fossil fuel.
Fossil fuel, Your Honor.
So, do you agree that tabi na natin yung ating pagiging environmentalist. Tabi na natin na mga eco-warriors sa mga nandito, mga lahat nag-chair ng Environment Committee. At meron kayong mga USEC dyan na mga aktivista dati dyan sa DNR. Huwag na yung aming advokasya. Praktikal na lang sa kalusugan para mabuhay tayong lahat at yung mga susunod na henerasyon, huwag tayo sisihin. Hindi ba dapat mag-transition na tayo para sa ating kalusugan, veer away from fossil fuel? Or am I just a crazy environmentalist?
Actually, ma'am, yun po yung ating yung direction nga po natin, yung sa mga e-vehicles.
I will ask that question of Secretary Simatu. Having heard na sa air pa lang po tayo, are we on the same viewpoint or the same page that definitely we must transition to a low-carbon economy without sacrificing industrialization and sustainable development, because the era of fossil fuel has actually generated not just environmental crisis, but even ill health effects on our population. Secretary, may I hear from you, please?
Yes, Your Honor. My first interest really when I joined DNR was really to find out pollution, and I went to a sample area, the most populated in terms of factories. I went to Venezuela, and we measured the air quality there. And fortunately, the air pollution was below it was normal, meaning it was safe. And we went to a factory, I think it was San Miguel brewery, and we measured the pollution that was emitted by the boiler, I think the boiler. And they have an equipment that further filter pollution, and it passed. So I was very happy about all these things. But there was a time when I got the measurement of all the locations in the country. And one of the most a little near red mark was in Metro Manila. Dito ko pa nakita na medyo ano. And yung malapit sa EDSA, yun ang mabigat ang pollution. And sinabi ko, if we had like that, we are only monitoring, but what can we do? Anong masasabi natin? Hanggang monitoring lang ba tayo, or we do something about it? So sabi ko is, ang ano naman, paano ba natin mabawasan ang pollution? So this was the pinag-usapan ko namin, yung vehicles talaga, number one po yan, and sabi ko, do we have a way of finding it out naman, kung totoo talaga na yung na may measure ng pollution, ng emission, ng mga bigyan ay totohanan. So that was one of ayan na pinapacheck ko sa LTO, and so forth and so on. Tapos sabi ko ba, ano pa bang gagawin natin kung yung kaso? So yung ano po ba, yung sinabi namin is, renewable energy po, yung vehicles. We have to go to Euro 4 yata po ang tawag doon Euro 4. Pag-aralan ko rin konti kasi Euro 2 kasi ang karamihan ng vehicle na pinagpagbabawalan na by next year malakas kasi yung pollution in terms of sulfur po yata yung ibig sabihin noon. So ang sinabi ko pa is how about kung dagdagan natin ang kahoy nitatanim dito sa Metro Manila para naman pang ano naman. So yun po ang mga ginagawa ko ngayon, programa. At the same time, yung renewable, yung solar, yung kung ano na lang, so much better sana po. Yun po ang pag-ano ko.
Thank you, Secretary. Senator Chi.
Madam Chair, on this point that you raised, sir, what's the contribution of the Philippines to, insofar as carbon emissions are concerned, ilang porsyento tayo in the world?
Usually, sir.
1/3 of 1%.
One-fourth of 1%.
Last time I
global,
checked.
Global.
Last time I checked, it was 0.03.
Yes.
1/3 of 1%.
Right?
Yes, sir.
0.03. In the United States or China, in the range of 25-26% each. So between the two of them, it's 50%. I joined the good senator. In fact, I voted to ratify measures seeking to move us in that direction. But sir, can you submit to us the cost of doing so? I'll give an example, sir. Sino ba may ayaw mag-electric vehicle? Ang problema, pag balik-balik ta rin, mahal eh. Hindi naman ang yabang ng mga Amerikano magsalita na dapat gawin nyo to, sila nga hindi gumagawa eh. Ang mahal eh. I'll give an example. One battery costs 500,000, which you have to replace every 5 years at the very least, if it lasts that long. So yung battery, makatipid ka man sa gasolina, babawin mo rin yun after 5 years and more. So, I mean, give us the cost, because from the part of Congress as policymakers, we would like to find out the cost of regulation. I mean, of course, we want to head towards a certain direction, but we also want to know how much it would cost us or what it would cost us i-factor in yung health na ginagastos natin, meaning, di ba, para mag-cost benefit tayo, in order to find out, in line with Senator Legarda's question, what should be the pace that we should be following in order to achieve our common goal of clean air. As Senator Legarda said, without sacrificing development, without sacrificing industrialization. It would be nice to hear from DNR as an agency, what is your recommended pace? Kasi minsan, di ba, pag yung secretary mahilig sa renewable, banat ng renewable. Pag hindi mahilig, slow down naman yun. There should be a general framework and study as to what the ideal pace should be so that whomsoever may sit in your chair right now can actually simply follow that roadmap without being too fast, also without being too slow, insofar as achieving our objective of clean air is concerned, sir.
Thank you, Senator Cheese, for bringing that into the discussion. Because while we are only 1/3 of 1% emitter in the world, I'm not even referring to our contribution towards greenhouse gas emissions globally. I'm referring to the impact on the health. So while the climate deniers may not be in favor of mitigation because they say it could get in the way of development, which is not true. But in case that is the scenario being presented, mitigation can also help in terms of helping business, helping livelihood, and helping the health of the population. And so the issue of clean air, there's an adaptation mechanism there. Then we plant more trees. We plant the lungs of the city. That's why we have the Nino Aquino Parks and Wildlife, which is the only protected area in Metro Manila, which should forever remain as a park. We should plant more trees in Luneta Park. We should plant more trees on our side roads, etc. We should develop more parks as lungs of the city. So we may not be a major contributor in terms of GHG in the world, but we must mitigate as a function of adaptation, and there are many adaptation measures, including urban greening or reforestation. And so it also redounds to the health benefits of our population that we mitigate. So it is never an issue that we are not a major contributor, therefore we should not mitigate and use the pollutants. That is a dinosaur era argument. I just hope that that will be the answer of DNR when they submit the answers to Senator Escudero. I'll help you in crafting the answers for that.
Just want to make a manifestation after that.
Yes, just so that we're on the same page. At saka pwedeng gawin natin, ano yung mga adaptation measures na ginagawa ng DNR na pwedeng i-adapt ng iba't ibang mga local governments. For example, water catchment. Ayan, 1989 law. Pagpatupad ng ESWM na ating didiscuss na kanina. Urban greening. Yun. Maraming adaptation measures na pwede natin gamitin para sagutin yung question ni Senator Escudero. We recognize Senator Villar, please.
in that connection, I just want to remind the Secretary of the DNR that yung palang Philippine Reclamation Authority is attached agency ng DNR. Maybe you can influence them not to do reclamation when it destroys the environment. Kasi doon tayo palaging nag-aaway that they want to do reclamation to earn because they are, PRA is a GOCC. But in making that decision, you should consider that if you are destroying the environment, we do only reclamation if we are not in destroying the environment. Otherwise, it should not be done. So I guess as an attached GOCC of DNR, you better influence that agency that they are not there to make money. They are there to also to protect the environment, to protect the people of the Philippines, to protect us from flooding, because their thinking is they are just there to earn money. We don't need their money. The damage they will do to us will be more than what they will earn. So you better influence them to have that thinking, because I don't think they have that thinking. Thank you very much.
With the permission of the Chair, if I may proceed, Madam Chair. If I may proceed, Madam Chair. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Is that okay, Senator Escudero, just on the point of
please,
Senator Villar,
Madam Chair.
Just for a few minutes. Yeah, not to defend reclamation to my dear colleague, but there are certain reclamations that are necessary in certain areas that the expansion of development cannot anymore be pursued. For example, I just came from Singapore. In Singapore, half of Singapore is reclaimed. All the Marina Bay sands and all that are reclaimed. So if it is done properly, not affecting particular coral marine resources, I don't think it should be, it shouldn't actually be banned. Certain, dapat yan we should weigh. If it will affect environmental concerns in any particular area, then definitely huwag natin bigyan. Pero kung yung bigyan areas, for example, like I know in Navotas and Malabon, they're doing reclamations there. Areas like that, Madam Chair, have no coral reef. I bet with you, we dive there. If we dive there, pag akyat natin, baka puno tayo ng coal tsaka oil. Kasi sa dumi niya, walang coral reef dun sa baba niyan. There are no fish in that particular area. But so, my point is, Metro Manila is becoming to be unlivable. So, let us also look, because even this area that we are in now, the Senate, is reclaimed. Right here, now, over this part where we are. In particular areas of the development now in the Pagcor City are all reclaimed. So, let us weigh it, although I agree with our honorable colleague Senator Villar, if it will damage the environment and it will continue with flooding, then you don't need to have, then there should be a ban in those particular areas. But in certain areas, Madam Chair, I think it is all right. We should weigh that development, because if not, occupy sa bundok, I'd rather have reclaimed area out here in the Metro Manila area, away from Las Piñas, para hindi mababa ang Las Piñas, rather than going up to the mountains of Montalban, which are forest watersheds, Madam Chair.
Economics, you know, the problem with this developer, ibibigay mo yan sa private, they will earn a lot of money there. Pero sila yung kumita, but the government will spend so much to decongest the traffic. Katulad ng binenta nyo yung Bonifacio. Okay, may nakuha pera ang gobyerno doon sa Bonifacio. But how much do you think will the government spend to decongest traffic in Bonifacio? You will realize that you receive less than what you will spend for infrastructure to decongest the traffic that they're going to do there in Bonifacio. Kaya alam nyo, even from the economic point of view, reclamation is not good because it will bring a lot of traffic here in Manila Bay. How much will the government spend to decongest the traffic that they will give to Metro Manila? Baka mas malaki pa sa kinita ng gobyerno para ipagbili lahat yan lupa ng Manila Bay. At hindi naman ang gobyerno kumita dyan, yung mga developer, hindi naman ang gobyerno. So lugi pa tayo in the long run. So mabuti pa, iwanan na lang sa atin yung mga open space na yan at pumunta sila sa probinsya. Dami-dami pang land sa probinsya. They can buy all the land that they want in the outside of Metro Manila. But in Metro Manila, we cannot anymore manage the traffic in Metro Manila. If we're going to build this infrastructure in Metro Manila, ayan, itatax tayong lahat to be able to build this infrastructure in Metro Manila. Kaya hindi lang yan environmental, even economics, hindi justifiable. Yung kinita nila para ipagbili nila yung lupa sa Bonifacio at saka doon sa ano ba yun, yung tindahan. Kasi may sarili silang pera, hindi sila dependent on us for budget. So, kahit under sila sa DNR, hindi naman nila iniintindi DNR kasi hindi naman sila nahingi sa DNR ng budget eh. Kaya hindi sila nadating dito.
That's true and not true. Just to, when I heard the DOE budget, the PNOC, RCEC, etc., they don't ask for budget. These are GOCCs under the DOE, but they were all here. And so the PRA has to be here in the second hearing of the DNR.
Yes, and just to wrap up my point on that issue, I certainly agree that we should bring development to many areas. I'm from Mindanao. No, I'm from Mindanao, but nobody seems to be coming in there with problems with land issues.
We don't want development also in Metro Manila because we cannot stand the traffic anymore.
But you know, Madam Chair, I just came from Tagaytay yesterday. It took me 4 hours to come out from Tagaytay. Hindi na Metro Manila po yun. As a matter of fact, 4 oras ako sa traffic kahapon. Tinext ko na si Secretary Mark. Sabi ko, Secretary Mark, dulayan natin yung bypass road. Kasi kung ganito, wala talagang lalabas ng Metro Manila. Kasi 4 na oras ang traffic dun sa Santa Rosa, tsaka dun sa going up to Tagaytay. It's, oh my goodness. And that is outside of Metro Manila. So, what I'm trying to say, carrying capacity, it's called carrying capacity. When I took my master's in environment, it's called carrying capacity. Metro Manila is becoming to be too, well, the problem is also, people don't want to leave their jobs, their sites. Nandito po yung trabaho eh. Ay, gusto ko po lahat pumunta sa Bukidnon. Wala naman pupunta doon, so wala trabaho doon. Ang nangyayari, they only stick to the metro centers. As a matter of fact, the squatters that are moved out of Metro Manila brought to Rizal and all these areas. Again, alam naman po ni Chairman yun, bumabalik sila lahat sa Metro Manila. Yung trabaho po na dito.
They're going to Naik and Trece Martires. There is, what you call that, PESA zone there. There are plenty of work there. And I have to commend the NHA. They have created a livelihood department for the relocation area. So, nililipat na namin sila sa Naik at saka sa Trece Martires at hindi na sila babalik sa aming riverbank kasi ginawa na naming kalye yung aming riverbank. Wala nang babalik doon kasi ginawa na naming kalye yung aming
Madam Chair, to end my position, because nobody has a monopoly on their ideas. We also have ideas, no? As again, just to finish my point, where we are meeting right now, the Philippine Senate is on reclaimed area. I end my case.
Okay, thank you. Those are just friendly debates among group mates and best friends here. Actually, Senator Escudero has the floor. Please proceed. Then I have many more questions, so please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Friendly debate ho yun, pero malalim magtanim yung mga yan. Ma'am, Mr. Secretary, on solid waste, is it true that 99% of local government units are in violation of the Solid Waste Management Act insofar as non-compliance with their own sanitary landfill is concerned?
99% ba?
Yes, even higher.
bakit ang sabi nyo sa akin 25% or 30% ang compliance sa RA 9003? Ang report nyo kay Senator Cheese ay 1%.
Insofar as sanitary landfills are concerned.
Your Honor.
First, sir, compliance.
Yes, based on yung recent monitoring namin, at least 38% of our LGUs nationwide are already complying 38%.
Meaning may sarili silang sanitary landfill?
Usually, sir, Your Honor, under the existing law, they are required to put up a sanitary landfill. But then, it's very difficult for the LGUs to comply with that requirement. So our Secretary and the Solid Waste Management Commission decided to undertake a clustering of the sanitary landfill.
Sir, from day one, actually, that should have been done. Even way before Secretary Simatu, that should have been done. Because clearly, very few of the local government units can afford to have their own. Di ba? Now, may I ask, as a policy, under the law, they're already all in clear violation. Hindi ko sinasabing kasuhan nyo. Ang problema, yung pagkaso ng DENR in the past, namimili. Technically, all of them are in violation. You can file cases against them. But the filing of cases have been arbitrary and discretionary depending on the political winds. So may I ask for a policy? Kung gusto nyo mag-clustering, edi cluster nyo yung LGU, then stop filing cases as of yet. Di ba? Kasi lahat naman ng violation, either kasuhan nyo lahat, o wag muna kayo magkaso hanggat hindi na ayos yung clustering na balak po ninyo. Where are you on that, sir?
Yes, good morning, Your Honor.
So you are the...
I am Attorney Noel Filonco, the USEC for Solid Waste Management, sir.
Lagyan ng USEC mamaya.
And to answer your question, sir, is actually only 420 LGUs are maintaining open dam sites. So meaning the rest don't have the open dam site, and insofar as open dam site is concerned, the rest are compliant. The cases that
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to correct you.
Yeah.
First, let's not say that only 420 LGUs have open dumps because the law was enacted in 2001 January. I authored the law in 1998. And what year was the phase out of open dumps supposed to be? 2006.
2004 and 2006.
So 11 years already. So wag natin only kasi dapat by now wala nang open dumps. Second, to say that of the 1,634 LGUs, 420 only have open dumps and the balance of the 1,634 are compliant, no, it does not follow. Because the others may not have open dumps, but may not be segregating at source, recycling, and composting, and may not have MRFs, material recovery facilities, which are compliant with the law.
Yes.
Para po maintindihan ni Santo Escudero, dapat po accurate ang sinasabi po natin dito. Sorry you said.
Yes, I agree, Madam. But my answer is focusing on the violation in open dam site. As of now, we have 422 LGUs which are maintaining open dam site. And the cases filed by the National Commission on Solid Waste Management are related to the maintenance of open dam site, ma'am. But as to the other
cases are being filed with some LGUs that up to today do not have a sanitary landfill, even without an open dam site. Hindi naman lahat ng LGU may open dam site eh.
Yeah. Just to give you the context, Senator Escudero, the cases filed with the Ombudsman are the violation of RA 9003 because of the open dam site existing in their area of jurisdiction. Yun lang po, sir. Hindi pa po tayo nagkakaso sa mga LGUs na wala po silang sinasubmit na 10-year solid waste management plan. Hindi pa po tayo nakakaso. Hindi po nagsisegregate.
Kayo po, are you speaking for the previous DNR administrations as well? Meaning from the start, from the time the law was enacted, wala pang kinasuan?
As of now, sir, meron pong 50 LGUs na pending ang kaso sa ombudsman po.
Wala pa kayong kinasuan ng LGU mula nung nag-violate sila sa kawalan ng sanitary landfill?
Wala, sir. Wala, sir.
Since the start?
Wala, sir. Wala tayong kaso na pinail sa ombudsman dahil po ang rason ay wala silang sanitary landfill.
Now, sabi ni Attorney, are you a USEC? Sabi ni USEC Leones, it's difficult. Recognizing that it's difficult, do you have any money in your budget to assist local government units to actually do this?
Yes.
To cluster it? No, whatever monies you have in your, any item in your budget that says you can give or assist LGUs to cluster it, kasi NIMBY palagi yan, di ba? Natin may backyard palagi yan eh. So, how do you go about it?
Sir, before I answer your question, just to put it in the record that it is not the DNR who filed the cases against the local government.
I was going to correct. It's the OMB, Ombudsman.
The Ombudsman. In fact, they just requested us the list of non-complying LGUs, and it was the Ombudsman who decided to file the case. But, sir, yun lang po yung issue na it is not actually filing of cases. In fact, Senator Loren was there when we filed the cases against the 50 LGUs. Ang stages po niyan, Your Honor, is that una, para lang itatawagin lang yung LGU's attention to comply with 9003. And then the first phase of that will be to present to the Ombudsman the plans of the LGUs on how they will address the garbage problem, the solid waste management. And then after that, hanggang doon na lang po, wala pa po naman actually nakakasuhan ng mga 50 local government units. Hindi pa talaga full-blown case. But actually the Ombudsman, to appreciate the acts of the Ombudsman, they're also helping us. They're only helping the DNR to compel these LGUs to comply with the Solid Waste Management Act. And kasi sabi nga the power of letter, so yun lang po yun.
Sir, I agree with that, but even you yourself recognize the difficulty, and I'm aware of the difficulty too on the ground. Hindi talaga kaya ng pondo ng LGU eh. And a mayor does not have the necessary political suasion to convince his neighboring mayor sa clustering na dun sa kanya at hindi dito. So again, how much money do you have in your 2018 budget or 2017 for that matter insofar as either enabling, capacitating, or actually assisting via a subsidy LGUs? Both for this year and next year, sir.
Sir, if you're going to ask us the budget to support the construction of the landfill, we do not have the budget for the landfill. But for the technical assistance, for 2018 proposal, we have 771 million for 2018. This will include the assistance for the rehabilitation of 50 open and controlled dam sites in the amount of 500 million for MOE, and for assistance for the construction of the material recovery facilities, we will be providing the LGUs a total 250 million. And for the support for the closing of San Mateo Sanitary Landfill, actually this the original the budget of MMDA was just transferred to us in the amount of 21 million. So that's our budget for 2018, Your Honor.
My second and last point, Madam Chair, kindly submit that to us, sir, so that we can unbundle it. Just for the record, I showed the distinguished chairperson a while ago a letter from the National Water Roadmap and Summit, which I which I completely concur with. Madam Chair, at the proper time, I will propose an amendment to this effect insofar as increasing the budget of the NWRB is concerned. Because clearly the National Water Resources Board is indeed over-centralized. I mean, alam niyo ba, bago makahukay ng Jetmatic, kailangan ng permiso ng NWRB? At pupunta ho sila sa Maynila. You don't even have offices in Visayas, in Mindanao, not even in every region. So, anong ginagawa? Hukay na lang. Diba? Hukay na lang, imbes na magpaalam pa. So that's one. And two, insofar as the RBCO is concerned, the River Basin Coordinating Office. Right now, the RBCO is only supervising or regulating how many? 18? Out of a total of 4 to 1. We will be proposing, Madam Chair, I am sure we have enough fiscal space to increase the budget of the RBCO as well, to include all 421 principal river basins, if only to be able to put a fund whereby they can plan what needs to be done in these river basins, and not simply to concentrate it on 18. And for the record, Madam Chair, before I wind up, actually ang pangarap ko sa tubig parang kuryente. May national pipeline tayo ng tubig. Para kung saan kailangan, doon dadalhin. Kung saan sobra, doon kukunin. Ang lungkot ko kasing kwento sa Pilipinas, baha sa Metro Manila, tapos El Nino sa Mindanao, or Visayas for that matter. Baha sa isang parte ng Luzon, kulang naman sa tubig pang irigasyon sa ibang parte ng Luzon. While water is still not that expensive, I think we should have a roadmap insofar as being able to have a national pipeline or transmission pipeline for water, at least within the 3 major island regions.
I already approve your amendment, Senator Cheese, even before the plenary. We will earmark, and I will excise from somewhere in the DNR budget to provide for that almost 200 million allocation. That's your amendment.
For the record, Madam Chair, 33.8 million for the NWRB additional, meaning 16 million, 16.4 million for the Visayas and 17.4 million for Mindanao. And 171.5 million, this is institutional, Madam Chair, for the RBCO.
And former Secretary Ernie Ordonez, now with the private sector, is here. You will help us monitor the implementation of this for the water roadmap.
Madam Chair, with due respect,
Mamaya pa.
just to say that it's
Yes.
not for 421 principal basins, but to strengthen the 18, that's all.
Yes, to strengthen all the river basins. And I want to know the focal person in DNR for the River Basin Coordinating Office. I did not realize there was such an office. Is it newly created? Anyway, just before Senator Cheese leaves, just on the issue of ecological solid waste, because we discussed that lengthily before you arrived when Senator Villar was asking about the budgets. So please submit, not just to me, but to Senator Villar, but also to Senator Cheese. The open dumps of 420, according to USEC Felonco, should not exist. In fact, if focus, the mandate or the what I'm asking the Solid Waste Commission and all the regional directors, wherever these 420 open dumps are, focus your efforts apart from the Manila Bay region and all areas that need it on these 420. So, micromanage them per barangay in these 420 LGUs so that they understand how to implement the law. Because, Senator Cheese, if we just implement the law, just like in the 38 or 28% who are compliant, there's only 20% diversion. Ibig sabihin, 20% lang ng basura sa lokal na pamahalaan yun ay mapupunta sa landfill. Ibig sabihin, hindi kailangan mag-away-away ng NIMBY na hindi magkakaroon sa kanyang backyard. Dahil yung iba naman yan ay nagagawang compost at nare-recycle. Tama? So please, before you we approve your budget in October, I want concrete action on the ground on the 420 LGUs that have dumps. If the DNR was able to do something in Boracay with the 3 barangays in Malay Aklan with 3 years of basura, and to do something about it in 23 days, I am sure August to September to October, 2 months, that's more than the 23 days that the General had to fix up Boracay, assuming your report today was correct. The 420 open dumps, do the magic, do the works, to close them, to teach them segregation, and to rehab them with existing funds. Don't tell me because you don't have the funds for next year. Do it this year. Because living in an area with open dumps is a very unhealthy community, especially ngayong tag-ulan, lahat ng virus, lamok, dengue, zika, lahat na. Please. In fact, 2016 wala ng open dumps. At wag natin sasabihin dahil hindi pinondohan ng batas. Pinupondohan na ngayon. Maski naman walang pondo, walang shredder at composter, ihiwalay lang basura. Kamay lang at utak ang kailangan at passion. Pero sabi ni Senator Villar, ayoko sanang maniwala sa kanya na wala ang Pilipino noon. I still have faith in the Filipino. Oh, naku naman. Oh, yun na nga.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Oh, sige na nga. Correct. No, I just, ibig sabihin, I actually agree with you. Pero, hindi naman ako pwedeng, kailangan may hope naman ako na may, so yung 420, USEC, parang bagong mukha po kayo, hindi ko kayo kilala. Akin yung number nyo, kukulitin ko kayo ni Eli. So, susulatan ni General, yung 420 niyan. Akin na rin yung listahan. Ganito, may pondo na kayo IEC. Sa top 5 broadsheets, ang online libre. I-post nyo yung 420 lumalabas ng RA 9003 na may open box. Gusto ko headline yung bukas. Ngayon, wala kong time na isalaysay nyo sa akin yung 420. Submitted to the committee. DNR, I want to see in the next few days a full-page ad of the 420, if you're correct, LGUs not compliant with RA 9003. And the reason cannot be because it's not a doable law. Because there are LGUs like San Fernando, Barangay 14 Taguig, Barangay Potrero, where I'm from, I'm so proud, in Malabon, Nyoban, Tagaytay, where I'm from, nai-implement eh. Binigyan pa kami ng pondo? Hindi. Passion lang, utak lang, kulit. Ako, makulit. Bahay-bahay. Sulatan po ni General hanggang Biyernes ngayong linggong to. Email, hard copy, text. Ilakhala nyo para alam nila kung sino sila. Kung di pa sila gumalaw, susumbong ko sila kay Presidente. Sigurado ako, inis na inis siya sa mga open box galing siya sa LGU. Okay? Kayo po ang hahanapan ko ng output, Yusek Noel at si Eli. Okay? Sige. Si Senator Miggs, the chairman will just ask the questions later. Thank you. We give way. No. I will be the last. We give way to the members of the
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, first of all, good afternoon, good morning. Good morning, Secretary, to your undersecretaries, to our friends in the DNR. Alam niyo naman kami dito, we're here, we may ask the questions, but we're here to help DNR and the environmental programs that we have in place. Many of us were probably authors of many of these laws that are being implemented now, so we beg your indulgence pag medyo mabusisi na kami magtanong on certain issues. But on mine, it's not really a question, Madam Chair. Mine really is for the mining industry. Kasi if you remember the last hearing we had with in the confirmation hearings of Senator Secretary Gina Lopez, I mentioned a particular issue on income of mining areas. And so I filed a bill, and I discussed this with you one time, Sec. Remember we discussed this. I hope we can get the support of the DNR because really, sa totoo lang, malaki ang income ng mga mining companies. We have to admit that. And we would like now to have a more relevant sharing of these mining revenues to the communities. So I have a bill, Madam Chairman, Ma'am Cynthia, kasi you're the head of the Environment Committee. I don't know kung pupunta po yan sa inyo or pupunta ba sa Ways and Means yun. Ways and Means ba na-refer? Siguro i-join na rin natin with Tita Cynthia para kasama po yung environment doon. We increase the taxation on mining companies. Kasi right now it's about 5%. I think 2% yung excise tax and then 3% yung royalties ba? 5% ang 5%. For mineral, ang plano ko kasi 10% na flat rate, 10%, so we almost doubled it. But the half of that, iiwan natin sa local communities. As a matter of fact, I spoke to the barangay captains of Caraga recently in Cebu, and I mentioned that to them, kasi Caraga affected po yan sila. Tuwang-tuwa sila sa plano na parang automatic appropriation to the local government units to particular menus. Health for their health, for education, talagang naka-earmark na. na hindi pwedeng gawin parang ano. Pero sa grade school, ma'am, ito mga dagdagan ng computers, modernize lahat na equipment. And we've seen this happen in areas like Benguet. And if you look at the poverty rates in Benguet, they're one of the lowest. As a matter of fact, they're next to Metro Manila in terms of 2.8% in poverty rates nila. Because a big portion of the mining companies there had put in their CSR on the development of their schools. Kaya maraming professionals doon, maraming engineers, doctors, lawyers, because of the education system there. As a matter of fact, all of them speak English. I think maybe 90% of the population in that area speak English. So, magaling, matatalino. So, I hope we can get the support, Secretary. I'll just ask your comment on this. It's SB number, Senate Bill number 1541, because we tried to earmark already the revenues of, I know the mining companies will not like this, but the beauty of this is we're plowing back to the environment. The best way to do it really is human resource development, and including part of that fund will be also rehabilitation, that will help the DNR choose what projects to rehab these particular sites. So, sana makuha ko lang yung comment mo dyan, Sec, because this bill will not pass if it has no support from the government agencies who are to implement this. Ang kagandahan po nito, hindi na tayo gagastos, hindi po tayo ang gagastos. Sila na po gagastos with increased taxes earmarked for human resource development. Any comment lang, Sec, on that?
Yes, thank you very much, Your Honor. Actually, after our conversation, I consulted some of the USEC and the mining group na rin, and we are supportive of that of your proposal, Your Honor.
Want to make a manifestation that we always look at the big mining companies to do their job, but we never look at the illegal mining. Alam nyo, malaki rin problema sa atin yan. Kasi I don't think yung mga big mining companies na nagde-destroy ng ating environment because they are listed companies in the stock exchange, they're very responsible because if they do something bad, then their stocks will go down in the stock exchange. Actually, the one destroying our environment are the illegal miners under the guise of small miners. Or ipinofront nila yung mahihirap nating kababayan, pero at the back of these people are rich illegal miners that are not following the law. So I hope that the DNR will look into this, kasi kahit parusahan natin ng parusahan yung mga big mining companies, if we cannot stop the illegal mining, wala ring mangyayari sa ating environment. Hindi natin masusolve yung problem. Actually, the problems are made by illegal loggers and illegal miners. It's not the yung mga big mining companies who are following the law, who are doing their job, who are just earning enough para may reasonable return sila sa kanilang mga investor, kasi kailangan may reasonable return ka sa investor mo, otherwise yung stock price mo sa stock market babagsak yan. Kaya every year you have to earn so much, hindi naman malaki, pero at least may ano ka. Ang talagang problema would be the illegal miners. They are rich also. I know many of them. They are illegal miners. They don't follow the law. They make a lot of money because they don't pay taxes. They smuggle their produce outside of the Philippines. So, better tingnan natin to para makita natin yung problema na sensibly. Kasi palagi natin pinag-iinitan yung mga mining companies na legal naman sila. Tingnan natin yung mga illegal na mas mayayaman din at not really following the law. I know of many of them in Mindanao.
Thank you. That's a very long issue. Perhaps hindi natin kayang himayin yung issue ng mining dito, pero tingnan lang natin to make sure, please, it's not in a protected area or in a watershed. That's really given yun, di ba? Hindi protected area, hindi watershed, ano pa, Attorney Ipat? Yung dalawang yun.
Madam Chair, may I also ask lang the MGB, magkano ang income ng mining industry to the country so that if we have an idea, fair idea, on the revenues, I mean on the royalties and the taxes? Maybe we can ask the Director of MGB, Director Moncano.
Yes, sir. For 2017, sir, the gross production value of mining amounted to, for large scale, amounted to, this is up to July? Up to July, the contribution gross production value in terms of pesos, 23.7 billion.
23.7 billion. That's only on the royalties and taxes.
Yes, sir. Excise taxes and royalties and mineral reservation.
For your information, listed yung legal na malalaki, 40 mining companies developing 28,000 hectares. So an average of 800 hectares per mining company. There are 9 million hectares na mineralized land in the Philippines. So they are just about 0.3 of 1% of the mineralized land in the country. They are a small industry. Ang problema natin, yung hindi nakalista. Sino ba yun? Oo. Sino ba yun? Oo. Kasi kung yung nakalista lang ang pag-iinitan, maliit lang yan. That's 0.3 of 1% of all the mineralized land in the Philippines. Kasi 40 lang sila eh. 4 na po lang sila. And they are only developing 28,000 hectares on an average of not even 1,000 hectare per company. Eh, nasan yung iba? Oh. So, hanapin natin yung mga illegal miners at ipasara natin yun. Kasi doon, hindi tayo kumikita. Oh, walang listahan yun. Oh. Lagi niyong pinag-iinitan yung 40, eh nasan yung iba?
May we request, thank you. May we request MGB to submit the legal miners in what areas they operate and what is the hectareage, and the so-called or alleged illegal miners to the knowledge of DNR, if there is any, because I'm not very familiar with this industry, and if any of the legal or alleged illegal miners are operating in protected areas or watersheds. MGB to submit, please. Secretary?
Noted.
We will do that, Your Honor, and in fact, for the information of the Chair, we have created the task force really to look into the problem of illegal mining. Like Diwalwan, it's already known that there are some small-scale miners done. But there are some other places that as the report of the Senator said, we are looking into this. That's the reason why also we have plans of hiring lawyers to help our people to go after them. I choose the lawyers, ma'am, because they know the law, and they have a way of going into this kind of mission to them.
Ang MGP po ay sa ilalim ni Yusek Noel? Is it EMB and MGB, no? Who is the Yusek in charge of mines? Just so that it's clear with me, because of the new faces, so solid waste is under the Solid Waste Commission, but under Yusek Noel, is that correct? Now, mines is under sinong Yusek?
Si Louis Jacinto, but he's on leave, but the assistant is
sino po?
Director Moncano po. Director Moncano is there.
No, MGB is the head. Director Moncano.
Yes, ma'am.
Career po kayo? Sino po si Director Moncano? Kayo po, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Career.
Yes.
Okay, and you report to Yusek Jacinto?
Yes, but he's on leave now.
Until when?
Up to last week of September.
So, okay. Ang tagal. 3 months. So, I will see him during the budget because I need to see him to be able to understand this. Yeah. But even if the Yusek in charge is on leave, the documentation will be made available to the committee. Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay, nasa air quality pa tayo. Although na-cover na yung iba, we can skip that. So, are all the air quality stations operating? And earlier you told us about TSP and all of that. It's all operating. I remember during the time of former Secretary Lopez, she inspected a monitoring station and some were not working. Are we sure that all the 45 stations are working given accurate data? And may I know the air that we're breathing now, what is the TSP level? Ano? The PM25? Yes. Who's the focal person for EMB? Is it EMB for clean air? Sino bang EMB? Kaya nga, si Director.
The monitoring stations, ma'am, are being operated by the regional offices depending on what, like for the National Capital Region, it is with the EMB NCR, and same with all other regions. So if you're asking for...
They're all operating, all working.
If I may, ma'am, we have different kinds of equipment. One is...
So, some umaandar po lahat.
Some are not operational, like 5 not operational for the because of wear and tear because of the typhoon. That's why what we are doing now is we have to procure the additional equipment, and for the 2018 we have proposed
to know how many of the 45 are working. At alam na mga EMB regional directors, 45 lang yan eh. How many regions do we have? 18 regions? Ilan ang ating regions? 16 EMB regions. How many are working of the 45?
Actually, ma'am, the original is 48. So, they just removed the not operational. So, we have more than 30 operational and partially operational 6. So, we just removed
only 30 are fully operational of the 48. So, 18 sira. Ano ba?
But we covered, Madam Chair, we have covered it with the manual equipment.
Okay. So, meron pong standby in case wala po yung mga makina. Sige po. Now, the information there, kinakala po yun ng EMB. Anong ginagawa ng ating mga engineers and scientists dito? Do you report it to the Department of Health? Do you report it to the LTO, LTFRB, also the DOTR? Kasi dapat may convergence ang ating mga ahensya. Dapat alam ng DOTR, dapat alam ng DOH. What do you do with the information? Do you have a website or an app at any one time? I would know the quality of air. Okay, if you have the app, can you show us, please? Okay, Yusek Luna, please show us your app.
Anong app siya?
Read, what is the TSP and the PM25? Is it PM25?
2.5, ma'am.
Sorry, PM10. PM10. Yusek Lunes?
Usually, PM10 tsaka PM2.5 po. But, ma'am, yung question niyo po regarding what we are doing about the results, no? What we're doing here is that we provide copies to the local government units to inform them of the status of the air quality in their jurisdiction, so that they can also help the DNR address the air pollution there. Yeah.
LGU, kung lahat lang ng LGU magpapatupad ng ating batas, clean air, clean water, solid waste, wala tayong problema, hindi kailangan humaba ang ating hearing ng ganito. Kung lahat lang ng lokal na pamahalaan, kaya gusto kong ikulong sa kwartong ito, ang mga LGU per region, pag-usapan ko lang yung air, water, solid waste. Yun lang. Yun lang hinihingi ko. Napakasimple. Sige. Ano po, what is the air quality?
Ma'am, 102, which is currently at the LaSalle station, currently unhealthy.
Let's establish LaSalle Station, Air Quality Monitoring Station of DNR for Air Quality. Put onto the record, Yusek Luna.
It's 102.
It's 102. What are you referring to? TSP?
Normal cubic, no, this is 2.5. PM 2.5.
PM 2.5.
There is no reading on the app for TSP.
Okay, PM 2.5. What is the normal value and what is the measurement now?
I think the standard is 100, and it's within standards from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., but it's over standard the rest of the time, ma'am.
Which is?
100. It's 102 right now at least what's the actual. No, PM2 ang nakalagay.
Because the standard for TSP is 90 micrograms per normal cubic meter, 90. For for PM10, the standard is 50 micrograms per normal cubic meter. 90 micrograms per normal cubic meter. Per normal cubic meter. For PM10, 60 micrograms per normal cubic meter. 45.
And then 2.5?
25 micrograms per normal cubic meter. So yung
I'm sorry, ano yung PM 2.5?
25.
25. O, sige. So, what are you reading into the record, please? No, I mean, what number? Is it TSP, PM10, or 2.5? Can we be accurate, whoever is in charge? EMB should know that. Why is the USEC for water reading the air? Aren't you the USEC for water? I want the USEC for air to read the air. Kaya nga dapat kasi hinihiwalay nyo air, water, waste. Buong planeta na yan, pag air, water, waste. Tapos greening, NGP. Tapos marine. O, di nasakop natin. Dapat binibreakdown yung presentation nyo. Okay, sagot. Ang birang mo kayo. Lasal Station, sabi nyo meron kayong app. Pakibasa ang TSP PM10 2.5. Di ba po, kung walang app, gumawa ng app, kaya lang kasi. Tatlong termino na ako dito, palagi ko sinasabi, ang oo ng oo ang DNR.
Actually, ma'am, merong apps na, hindi lang ma-open ang... So, ito yung sa... For example, ma'am, sa Las Piñas, ang PM...
Lasal, nagsimula tayo sa Lasal, yung malapit sa atin. Oh, Lasal. Yung Lasal Station.
Your Honor, if I may, ma'am.
Yes, Director.
Yes, if I may suggest, sir.
Pakibasa lang po, teka po. Pakibasa po yung Air Quality Monitoring Station results. Pero pag sabi, ganito po, kung wala po sa inyo at hindi nyo kayang ma-download yung app, hindi bali na. Pero ang tanong ko ay wala. So, all the DNR officers here cannot download the app. Sabihin natin totoo, wala. Hindi natin kayang ma-monitor. But if we go to Lasal, siguro naman kaya o baka sira ang Lasal. Baka sira. Ay, nako. EMB. So, it really shows, you know, at any one time, whoever the USEC for Air or EMB, dapat maayos. Una, sabi niyo may 48 stations. The 48 should be working. If the 18 are not working, the 40 should be working. And the 40 should be downloadable anytime. And this should be in a website of air quality of DNR EMB. I've been saying that from the time of before SECPAHE. Is it so difficult to do that? So, between today and your second hearing, may I kindly request the DNR EMB to please institute that very simple request. If I Google or put in air quality Metro Manila EMB or air quality, simple lang, air quality Metro Manila or EMB website comes out, you put in Las Piñas, you put in Makati, you put in Lasal Station, TSP level. Reference value is 90 and below. What is the air quality as of that time? Ganun lang.
I-input lang sa computer.
Anong sabi mo? Good morning.
Doktore, para lang sumagot sa'yo.
Ayokong dudukturin.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, I'm Michiko Sibunga from the Air Quality Management section. This application that we have shows the air quality index. What ma'am read is 102. It is the air quality index. That means it is not the unit, it is not the actual concentration, but it represents the air quality index for regular people to understand.
Yes, that's what we want to do. We're not explain.
If it's 100, yes, if it's 102, it is unhealthy.
I know. What is the reference value? Ano po ang reference range?
PM 2.5.
No. Okay. Say, ano pinapira? You're referring to the air quality.
100 should be
yun. So you're not talking about TSP, you're not talking about PM10, you're not talking about 2.5. You're talking about air quality index general.
Yes,
it's all of this put together. And the air quality index should be 100 and below. Is that it? Don't argue with each other. Please talk in the microphone. No, if you're not sure, if nobody in this room is sure, then I refuse to be educated by unsure answers. I want to know what you're certain of. You're DNR, you're the engineers and the scientists. You have to come to a hearing prepared. We will have a second, a third hearing. One hearing NGP, another hearing air, another hearing water, another hearing, because all agencies are secondary to you. If you do not take care of the air, the water, and solid waste, and our forests, and our marine, we're all dead. Everything is reliant on DNR. I'm only asking for the air quality monitoring stations. You can answer. EMB. Sumagot po kayo. Buhay na ito.
Yes, operational. Ano bang tinatanong niya? Yes. This unit po kasi kung PM10 and 2.5 or other pollutants, whichever is highest, yun yung mag-reflect dun sa application showing na nag-exceed siya. So, in the case of Taft, Lasal Taft, PM 2.5 yung prevailing pollutant which is unhealthy. So,
ano yung rate ng PM 2.5? Basahin lang.
102.
Ano po?
102.
Wow! Bigla akong hindi makahinga. Ang rate po dapat 25, di ba? And below. PM 2.5. Yes. PM 2.5 is 25. Ang normal value. Tama? Sabi ni Yusek Leones, Yusek Leones, tama. At ngayon, 102.
Hindi to bumababa eh.
Magkasundo kayo.
Ma'am, yung sa Lasal kasi central based yan.
Teka, sabi ni doktora, engineer, technical, you're from air quality monitoring. You said you were referring to PM 2.5 and the normal value is 25. And you said the LaSalle station indicates we're 102. Yes, please answer. Tama po.
102, yes,
and PM 2.5.
Yes, which is unhealthy.
It's really unhealthy because the normal is 25 and below, correct? Yun ang sinabi ni Yusek Leones.
Yes, 25 is actually the annual guideline value. So if you average the entire year, it should not exceed 25.
We don't have to be exact, we just want to understand it. So if it's 25 ang expected for a healthy ecology, which is a constitutional mandate, and the level of PM 2.5 now, more or less, is 1.2 per De La Salle monitoring station. So, wow. Yeah, tama. What is your name?
Engineer Sibunga.
Engineer Sibunga. Tama ba ang sinasabi ko? Pagkaintindi ko, kasi we're not engineers. The 2.5, 25 ang base annually, and the measurement now is 102.
24-hour yung 102.
Yes, 102 is the 24-hour average.
Yes.
So for the
Malayo yung 25 sa 102.
Yes, it is unhealthy.
It is unhealthy. So it's terrible. Look,
Madam Chair,
no?
Madam Chair, just to add.
And I'm not blaming anybody, ha? I'm just really frustrated with the air quality. No wonder maraming sakit. So yun lang ang ibig ko sabihin talaga, that DNR should work closely with DOTR, meaning LTRFB and LTFB, LTO under DOTR and DOH. Kasi hindi dapat tayo gamot. Dapat preventive at linisin. That's why we need the lungs of the city. We should plant more trees within the city. We should stop development in the city and just rehabilitate whatever is existing. And development should be outside the city and control the number of cars in this metropolis.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, just to add to that, Madam Chair, to Secretary and to the USEX, I remember when we visit to France in Grenoble to look at their air quality, it's air quality monitoring. At a certain level, they would warn everybody. Kasi ano siya, that place is a valley and surrounded by mountains, hindi nag-escape yung bad air. At a certain level, people are warned, and then they stop actually traffic from major areas, they slow down the traffic so that the air quality goes up para hindi lang mamamatay out of suffocation yung tao. Maybe there could be a system, Madam Chair, may I make a suggestion? Well, once it's already 102, it's not fair for all of us traveling that area and living there to actually be breathing that kind of smog. Baka pwede tayo,
adaptation tayo.
Baka pwede natin iwan yung mga tao that this is the amount of pollutants in the air, it is very dangerous, stay off the streets or something like that. I don't know, on your website, in radio stations, para kayo mga pag-asa. Yung pag-asa ay warning tayo. Yes, Madam Chair.
We adopt the suggestion of Senator Subiri, effective immediately. We request DNR, ENB to publish by text and by website in understandable terms the TSP level by putting the reference range baseline and over by how many, and then like a flood warning, like a landslide cyclone warning, ito health warning based on air quality. Yes, engineer.
Yes, Madam Chair. Actually, it's on the application. If you open it, you can see the air quality index indicating the ranges. If it's unhealthy for sensitive group, just like 102 for LaSalle, it says people with respiratory disease such as asthma should limit the outdoor exertion. So, if the range could have been 0 to 50 air quality index, it's good. So, there's no cautionary statement here, but it says...
Clarify natin, 0 to 50, hindi 25. At sabi ni Yusek Jonas,
that's the annual concentration.
So 0 to 50, okay pa. For air quality 102, so problemo.
Yes.
Talagang, kaya magkakasakit talaga ang mga tao.
Madam Chair, no?
Sa Las Vegas daw.
Madam Chair, siguro what the Secretary could do or they can assign an Undersecretary, hindi nyo naman kasalanan kung hindi na implement yung clearing sa LTO. Kaya dapat talaga, ang nangyayari pag polluting yung jeepney, yung bus, yung sasakyan, unfortunately, hindi nila control. But, since you know the air quality, you can make the warning. You can call people like in media, yung sa ABS-CBN, si Karen Dabula, o Ma'am Karen, gusto lang namin panawagan na dito sa area ng Metro Manila, 102 na po yung pollution, yung mga kababayan natin, mag-ingat po, huwag masyadong lumabas at maglakad, at you know, dapat actually matutuwa ang tao.
Very good, very good. So, effective immediately, yung website ninyo, make it simple, understandable, and you should come up with daily text blast warnings to people on the level in every city in Metro Manila. Hindi bale na, let's say, ang bukid nun, fresh air pa dun eh. Di ba? So, Metro Manila and urbanized cities like Cebu, Davao, Baguio, polluted na Baguio. So, ganun. So, dapat may daily text blast. May budget naman kayo eh. At saka you have a mobile telcos. Baka sakot to ng ating batas ng mga libreng text sa mga warning, no? So, in fact, can you assign a person to text me every morning? I'll put it on Twitter. Let's say every 6 a.m. when I wake up, I will put on Twitter air quality, the following. I will help you disseminate. And all of us, especially these young ones who are techie savvy. Yes.
For information of the good senator,
500
meron po
o
tayong
500?
apps din for Metro Manila. For Metro Manila, meron po tayo. In fact, we have already, yung GMA 7 nun, binobroadcast na rin po yung daily natin na real-time na monitoring stations. In fact, at this very moment, Your Honor, sa Las Piñas, ang reading natin is for PM 2.5, 88. For PM 10, 66. Ang air quality index po ay 88. Sa Las Piñas po.
Ibig sabihin mo, moderate siya. Malapit na.
Parang mataas ba rin?
So, ma'am, for example, sa Pasay City, sa Pasig Station, ang PM 2.5, as of this very moment, 152. Sa PM 10,
Kaya minsan nag-palpitation ako dito. Para talagang hindi. Totoo.
Sa PM 10, ma'am, 70, ang air quality index is 152.
Psychological to. Bigla ko hindi ako makahinga.
Ano Makati?
Ulit.
Makati.
Hindi. Pasay. Nasa Pasay tayo. Kasi katabi ang Manila Bay. Ang baho-baho
Ang Pasay
nga.
po. Ang Pasay, ang air quality index po is 78.
Sabi nyo kanina 150.
Pasig po yun.
Pasig.
Ang PM10 is 78. Ang PM10 wala. But ang air quality index po ng Pasay Station natin ay 78. At Pasay po. Pasay.
Quezon City, do you have in your area? So, Quezon City.
Near the bay.
Quezon City. Ano Quezon City?
Tagaytay City. Tignan natin. Mataas at maraming...
Sir, ma'am, yung sa apps natin, Metro.
Malabon. Yung aking syudad.
Yan naman Malabon. Ano ba pinakamalabon? Malabon, meron naman. Kamusta lang Malabon?
Malabon, tabi ng daan.
Dala, ma'am. Wala.
Valenzuela. Maraming factory dyan.
Sige, Senator Sherwin, ano yung Valenzuela po?
Pumasok na si Sherwin.
Valenzuela.
Ano yun? Under maintenance, o yun.
Sige.
Makati meron po kayo?
Valenzuela. Ano? Taguig, ma'am.
Taguig.
Sa Taguig, ma'am, ang air quality index po ay 35.
Ang ganda.
35. Ma'am, just to inform the good senators, yung pag-measure po na real time, hindi naman po pag na-measure tayo na real time, buong araw ganun yung station. Depende po sa busy.
No, ano yung 38? Ano yung 35?
Yung 35 air quality index po, yung sinasabi po.
Hindi, may 90, may 60, may 25 eh.
Yung pong 90 micrograms, ito po yung actual value
Correct.
ng
So,
total
when you say air quality index, what's our base?
ano yung base?
Ano ang normal doon?
Anong normal?
0 to 50. So, air quality index between 0 to 50 is good. So, Taguig is 38. That's good. At this moment, correct. And Makati.
Makati.
Laguna Lake. Laguna Lake. At wala pang industriya. Kasi wala pa lang ang building.
Ma'am, yung sa Makati, I'm sorry, under maintenance daw po yung Makati.
Under maintenance ang
Makati stations natin.
air quality mo.
Ano naman music dahil sa sobrang puno ko doon, sigla kagad yung matsina. Napara.
Caloocan, Las Piñas, Mandaluyong, Marikina.
Ano yung Malabon? Hindi nyo sinabi. Under maintenance din? Okay, ganito na lang. Sige, mahaba pa tayo po. 78 nga, over. Ilagay doon nyo sa bahay niyo yung multo. Hindi, dapat nyo talaga ilagay kung saan polluted para makuha yung worst area, para matakot tayo. So, the issue, the only reason why we're belaboring this issue with such a long hearing is there's really a need to improve air quality in this unlivable metropolis. And so, please work with the MMDA for the massive planting of indigenous tree species na akma sa highly polluted metropolis. I gave MMDA the funds, 50 million this year, for trees. Did not spend it. Secretary, pakitawagan po ang MMDA General Lim. Baka hindi niya alam na meron 2017 budget, hindi pa ginagastos. Kayo na ang magmuwa, magtanim ng maraming indigenous species. Hindi po sa pagmamalaki. In 1998, at zero cost to government, you see NLEX and SLEX, all my forest parks, that used to be
garbage dumps, I converted it into forest parks. You will see going south, all the lumps of trees. Nagkamali ako dun, hindi indigenous species, mga mahogany, etc. But these are all lumps of the city north and south. What I'm saying is if we plant more trees in Ninoy Aquino Parks and Wildlife, if we have more pockets of forest within. So please spend the MMDA budget to plant not yung decorative lang, something that can really be the carbon sinks of this polluted city. And second, pagawa naman niyo po lahat ng monitoring stations. Parang may lagnat ang anak, tapos yung thermometer sira. Wag naman. Pagawa natin. So, meron naman kayong O&M budget for this year. Baka nagbibidding pa yan, magal-bagal. So, bago po matapos ang ating second hearing, lahat po ng air quality monitoring stations ay ayos. And effective immediately. No, you already have the website. Could you just text it to me? Who has my number? Sec. Pakisabi, text lang sa akin yung link sa inyong website so I can help you disseminate. Migs can help me disseminate the air quality every day. But just so that you understand, hindi na masyadong komplikado, PM10, 2.5, TSP, iba-ibang numero, air quality index na lang, 50 and below is acceptable. Tama? Oo. Okay. So, yeah, just so that you're in air quality, we leave that. So, just to summarize, get all your monitoring stations work, service it, or operate it, maintain it, and then upload it in your website, and then promote visits to your website. I want you to trend on Twitter. Have a Twitter, not just a website, but on Twitter and all social media platform on the air quality, so that people are aware of the air quality. I'm breathing a 38 air now. Uy, pasok tayo 0 to 50. I'm suffocating with 150. Uy, you better stay home, or you preventive, or you better, wag na tayo. Let's do our own climate action. Wag na tayo magkotse ngayon, magbisikleta tayo ngayon, or tayo mag-MRT or yung ganun. Yung para maging aware bawat tao, alam ang ating air quality, para maging second nature, just like second nature na sa akin paghiwalay ng basura, hindi ako makatiis na sa isang bin ay meron ako itang plastic at saka tissue. Alam ni Secretary yan, dahil 5 ang aking bins, maski walang tumitingin, hindi ko matiis na mag-violate ako ng batas ko. Gawin natin sa clean air, ganun din. Hindi tayo ang sanhi ng maruming hangin. No, let me correct. Lahat tayo ay sanhi. Dahil lahat tayo sumasakay ng kotse. Lahat tayo may kapasidad baguhin yan. So, massive planting of trees, whatever, whenever, and whatever applicable, and awareness so that we change our lifestyle so that it will improve. And then get the monitoring stations, otherwise we don't know the air quality. Yes, Senator Miggs.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So just quickly, just to go back to the topic really for a short period of time, maybe magandang programa yan, Sec, para lalo bumango. Alam ko, hindi mabanguhan yun yan, pero lalo bumango ang DNR. Maybe you can also come up with a program where sumbong natin sa tao or something, air quality awareness. Tapos, either patawag po kayo sa every day or si USEC, you can assign a USEC or the EMD to call people like Karen Dabela at 4:30 or Anthony Taberna at 5:30 or in the morning, early morning, si Kabayan. Kabayan, gusto lang namin paalala sa tao, ganito yung air quality na yung araw na ito, na yung umagang ito, dito sa mga lugar na ito. Parang pag-asa. And then, para the people will understand, hindi naman kasalanan nyo may polluted air, but you're the ones in charge of monitoring it. Matutuwa pa ang taong bayan sa DNR. Sasabihin nila, dahan-dahan po sana paggamit ng sasakyan, lalo na yung mga sasakyan yung polluted. Dapat ipasok sa talye, paayos ninyo yan. Kasi kung hindi, ganito palagi yung inaamoy na sa Bisaya, magudong. So, hinihingi ng hangin. So, yun ang hinihingi nila. Kaya, mas magandang program po yun, sir. That would be a very good program. I think the DNR will be front and center and they'll thank you for it. Like, for example, you telling me that it's 108, wow. Biglang sumakit yung ulo ko dito. Kaya sabi ko, ganun pala. But also for the, sa Facebook, pwede nilabas yun sa DNR monitoring. Alam mo, everybody's on Facebook now. Every time I get feeds from Facebook on developments and all. So, aside from that, we also passed on third reading, just to let all the department heads here know, we passed on third reading already the ease of the expanded Anti-Red Tape Act. as chairman of the Trade and Industry Committee in the Senate, binigay ko po yung example nung ako nag-resign in 2011 and then I put up my businesses in 2013. I had 2012. I had experiences with different government agencies. Unfortunately, one of them happened to be DNR in the region. When I needed to get my approved lot plan from, this is a funny story. Hindi ko napabanggitin ko sino, pero when I resigned from politics, I went into business. So, naglagay po ako ng mga ice plants sa Cagayan de Oro, Bukidnon. It's a tube ice for industrial, pang Schumart, pang Robinsons. And then I bought a property in Cagayan de Oro. It was a 800 square meter property. Hinati ko po sa 400 by the highway. Now, to be able to get the approved title and the documentation, if you're going to chop it from an area, siguro alam po ng mga LMB yan, kailangan mo na approved lot plan by the DNR, Land Management Bureau, siguro yun, di ba, sa inyo? Okay. So I hired a geodetic engineer na certified po ng DNR for this purpose. So, ginawa niya, and sinabit ko sa DNR, 2012, that was 2013. So, civilian na po ako. I didn't want to use my cloud already. Sabi ko, no, ayusin mo. You know, so it took me 6 months. Umabot po ng Christmas. Humihingi na po ng pampagana, pampabusog, pampalahat. Pero ako naman, cowboy naman ako. Mahal ko kayo eh. Mahal ko yung DNR family. Sabi ko, sige, baka kailangan nila pang Christmas party, lahat yan. So anyway, not necessarily asking for a bribe, but it took me 6 months. And the reason why it moved fast, kasi naalala ko, chairman din pala ako ng Environment Committee when I was still a senator. And nakausap ko si, that time, the regional director, tawang-tawang, si Mamu, kaibigan ko yun, tinawagan ko siya. In fairness, she was wonderful. I called her up and I said, may problema ako, yung papeles ko, 6 months na, ano yun, miss, kakaya na yun. Sabi ko, I just sliced the property from 800 square meter, sabi ko, I bought the property kasi. Sabi niya, ilang, gano'n kalaki? Sabi ko, ma'am, 400, 400 hectares? Sabi niya ganyan, hindi ma'am, 400 square meters. Kumutik ko sa maulong sa upuan niya sa hiya, bakit gano'n? So, you know what, 2 days after the papers came out, hindi ko na tinanong sino nakahawak, sino na, okay lang yun, sir. Ang ating is done, we have now a law. Because of that experience, it has opened my eyes, we need better legislation. So now we passed the expanded Anti-Red Tape Act. Don't worry, you're not the only ones who gave me a hard time, and many other agencies in local governments also gave me a hard time. So my point is, under the new law, and I'd like you all to listen, gentlemen, ladies, Land Management Bureau, yung sa ECC, sa EMB, and all other agencies that give permits and licenses. Sana nandito pa yung NCIP, kasi matagal din yung NCIP. Nandito pa yung NCIP? Naku, 1 year yung hintay ko ng certificate of hindi sa kasama din sa Dominicans ng 1 year po hintay ko doon. Non-overlap. And anyway, under the new law, 20 working days na lang po for government agencies as directed by the President. 20 working days. So if you need to add personnel to set up the designs of these plants, power plants, of all these chemical plants, all these developments, you have to hire, because under the law, it's 20 working days, and if you can ask for an extension of another 20 working days, pag hindi nakayanan sa 20 working days, yung detailed review. For example, ECC, but it doesn't say that because you submitted all the documentation, automatic approved yung ECC, you can disapprove it, but you have to act within 20 working days. I'll just wrap it up now. So, ang point ko dyan is, for simple MSME transactions, it's 3 working days. For a bit more technical MSME transactions, it's 7 working days. But all other government agencies, it's 20 working days. Kasama na dyan yung Bureau of Fire, lahat ng government agencies. The penalties are the first offense, meron yatang 3 months na suspension without pay. Second offense, 6 months to 1 year. And fourth offense, criminal na po, jail term of 1 to 6 years. And that's the difference between the old Anti-Red Tape Act. Kasi yan lahat po ay administrative lang. Ito, meron na pong penal clause. May penal clause po siya na penal clause kasama sa penal code. So, yun ang punto ko dyan. I hope we can all help each other here. This is for anti-red tape, so that we can move forward and be like our competitive, like our neighbors. Because under the anti-competitiveness index, we are very bad in the rankings in Southeast Asia. As a matter of fact, marami nang umalis, pupunta ng Vietnam, and they're leaving us in Indonesia. So, that's my little request, Secretary. I'll give you a copy of the bill. The House is just going to pass on second reading, hopefully this week, their counterpart. Maybe before Christmas, may labas na natin to sa law. Para ma-push natin yung drive ni Presidente against anti-red tape. So, thank you, ma'am. No offense sa OMB o dun sa Presidente Oro. Ang aking sharing lang yung sharing.
I appreciate your sharing. I wish we could share, but I have a 1 o'clock COA and Ombudsman hearing. I apologize to DNR. We have to suspend your hearing for the second hearing on September 14 at 2 p.m. Talagang sobrang dami. We're just in the air, and by that time, it will give you sufficient time, 2 weeks, to fulfill the request for the national greening. Isama na natin yung ibang bureaus with the NGP. So, tapos natin ang air. All the inputs being requested by the colleagues will be submitted way before September 14. I assure you that you will be finished on the 14th, and then we proceed with the others, yes. Secretary, I know it's your first time in the cabinet. Hindi ko po ibig sabihin na pinapahirapan po ang budget niya. Ibig sabihin lang, maraming concern sa ahensyang hinihead po ninyo at kailangan siyasatin ang budget kung kailangan i-realign dito, dagdagan dito, tanggalin dito, improve the performance. Actually, it's not a matter of budget, it's a matter of really implementing. So, the way we micromanage your budget, looking at the 48 stations, how many are working at any one time, parang yung pupunta tayo sa gera eh. May dalang baril, hindi pumutok, sira pala. O wala palang bala. Di ba ganun yun eh? Kaya hindi dapat tayo pupunta sa gera na hindi handa at hindi alam yung intel tungkol sa kalaban. Ganun lang yun. Di ba, Secretary, kami nagkakaintindihan tayo. Thank you to the DNR. You're our favorite agency. That's why we micromanage you this way. And we expect everyone to know the area of expertise that you're handling. Pati mga bago. Ligay kayo dyan ni Presidente dahil dapat alam ninyo. Okay? So, just be prepared para hindi umaba sa September 14, clean air, clean water, solid waste management na pag-usapan na yan, and then NGP, and then the agencies under, including PRA, request ni Senator Villar also for them to be here. Thank you very much. We suspend your hearing.